Hello there, everybody. How are you all doing today? Megan and me, once again, going through the greatness, so far greatness anyway, that has been E3.
Yeah.
So far, I will say, no conference has really struck me as boring yet. I don't believe. At least not entirely boring. Which is good. More of a surprise, considering we've hit like the 10 years since E3 began at this point, right?
Yeah.
But we're moving on to Sony's press conference now, which I'm excited for. So in Microsoft, we saw the unveiling of the Xbox 360.
Okay.
Well, we did, didn't we?
Well, we did. Yeah.
Then why'd you say okay, like you weren't there?
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Okay, so we saw that. So I don't remember when the PS3 gets announced. It may even be this year. Maybe all of the companies will announce a new generation console this year. I know they're all hinting at it last year. So
Yeah.
we'll have to just see. But anyway, so uploaded by Illusion. So thank you to Illusion for uploading this 4 years ago. A true legend. All right,
Yes.
and this is a very long conference, as you can see down here. It's quite long, so we're gonna be here for the long haul.
Yeah.
Now, Megan, are you ready?
I am.
All right. Thanks, IGN/GameSpy. Rest in peace, GameSpy. I never liked you. I also have another muffin. Just to, because I know I had one during Nintendo. Or not Nintendo, Microsoft. I had one during Microsoft. And, besides spoilers, it's like the next day, and I felt like having another muffin.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't want people to think like I'm just picking out on like muffins literally every video.
I mean, it'd be pretty funny though.
So, this is something I'm a bit familiar with now with video games, where they do like a montage at the beginning of like their E3 presentation. I don't know if this is an E3 Access thing or a Sony thing or not. In fact, I might even just quickly make sure that this is... Yeah, okay. That it's not just like an E3 Access thing at the start. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh, there's 2 hours of E3 Access. Oh my god. PS3, look at that!
Oh wow, full reveal?
That is interesting. Because I will say, I do actually want to do some talking about the PS3 and its beginnings, I guess. Because Megan, do you remember how like the PS3 looked at the start?
I thought it looked like that.
All right, so I'm gonna have some news for you after this. I'll just try to remember. I'll try to get like a picture and just show you.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Look at that, showing off like, oh, here's Final Fantasy VII. Didn't happen for many years.
Not even on this console.
Not even on this console. Barely even on the next one after that.
Yeah.
E3 Access 2005.
It's been said the best way to predict the future.
Yeah, I wonder if this is like more of an E3 Access opening.
And his team at Sony set out to invent a different future.
Oh no, probably not. Because this is like very Sony right here.
Experience
I'm gonna
fusion
turn up a little
gaming,
bit.
music, movies.
Also, looks like
communication.
Fly 3.
Imagine a platform that could power such a transformation. PlayStation hit the world with a force rarely seen.
Go, girl.
Developers embraced the platform with amazing ferocity, creating the world's richest, most immersive games.
Whoa, PS2.
Refined computer entertainment with unparalleled power, speed, and graphics, converging movies, games, and music.
Still continued to sell like even more than that, like many years later. It's crazy how long the PS2 lived for.
Yeah.
Suddenly, handhelds aren't just for kids, or just for games. From a minor market into a major cultural force, PlayStation continues to invent the future. Live in the future.
Live in the future.
Ladies
That's quite
and
the tagline.
gentlemen, please welcome Kaz Hirai.
PS3. See now going through all the E3s, I'm starting to recognize like Kaz Hirai a little bit more,
Good afternoon and
right?
welcome to the annual Sony Computer Entertainment E3 press conference. It's great to be with you here today at a new location, the Sony Picture Studios. First of all, are you guys all excited about E3?
Interesting. They're not actually at the convention center for this one.
All right, come on. There are more than 2,000
I guess
people
not,
in this
no.
room. Let's try that again. Are you guys excited about E3?
Woo!
All right. That's what I'd like to hear.
Woo.
It's very good because all of us at Sony Computer Entertainment have been waiting a long time to get to this point, and we're very excited to share with you, our industry, our partners, our loyal fans, what's in store for the future of the PlayStation business. We have always attempted to do things differently.
Is it loud
at
enough for you?
Sony, and our goal
Yeah.
and vision for
Okay, just
PlayStation
making sure.
has taken us to unprecedented levels of success and inspiration. For the
Success.
last decade, we have strived to push for constant innovation by continuing to deliver home console platforms that challenge the status quo. Just keeping up with conventional technology isn't enough for us. That runs contrary to the Sony DNA. The original PlayStation offered a true 3D arcade gaming experience in the home for the very first time. 5 years later, with PlayStation 2, we delivered a quantum leap in technology, allowing for the most realistic gaming experience on the market, and this is still true today. PlayStation 2 is the first complete entertainment hub with its ability to play games, audio CDs, and DVD video content through one box.
That is true. It was the first.
And on top of that, we delivered an industry first, backwards compatibility with the original PlayStation library.
That's also true.
To date, we have shipped
Yeah.
more than 190 million.
You know, I kind of want to mention this actually. That got me thinking, right? I guess in a weird way, each one of the big three did actually innovate on something that would eventually become more of a standard, right? In
Yeah.
a way. Or like, but innovated like in some respect, right? Like with Xbox, it was their online service, best at the time, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation, it was backward. Like with Sony, it was backwards compatibility, right? And with Nintendo, I mean, they just like were constantly innovating. To be fair, and they innovated motion controls, which is one of the best and kind of worst things that could have happened at the time. So you know, it's really interesting. The big three, each one of them have like a sort of claim to fame that they can
They
kind of
do.
bring up.
units of PlayStation hardware and close to 2 billion units of software, which in my mind is a pretty amazing accomplishment. Then along came PlayStation Portable, a product we introduced to the world at last year's E3 show. For us, any product carrying the PlayStation name has a lot to live up to. And yet again,
I don't think the PSP
we
did that
delivered
necessarily.
on the promise.
Not
PlayStation
quite.
Portable is full of innovation, far superior to anything on the market today. Just as PlayStation in 1995 revolutionized gaming and the way our industry does business, PlayStation Portable served as the disruptor in the portable space and changed the way consumers view entertainment on the go. And now, we're on the onset of a new decade for the PlayStation family of products, what we're calling the digital decade. So let's take a look at what that will look like.
All right, I'm curious. Tell me about the digital decade. I don't remember it ever being called that, but
Yeah, I can't say I ever heard that either.
whoa, so digital.
That's an interesting choice to play what sounds like African music over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Would that really be African music? It just kind of sound more like kind of like chorusy stuff to me, right?
I mean, maybe.
Ladies and
I think it's
gentlemen,
mostly just
please
the
give a
drums
warm
and
welcome
or
to
the
one of our
bongos.
company's founders,
True. It did kind of
who
give me
is
like
known
a
in some
Civ
circles
4 kind of
as the
feel,
father
actually.
of
Now
the
you mention it.
PlayStation. Ken
That's fair.
And Civ
Kutaragi.
4 has a super great opening, and I think that's also African inspired.
Hi everyone. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with us today.
Oh, someone
Every
paused
time
it.
When I have a dream, I can emerge our next voyage. I can feel a breeze. And today,
I see
we are
someone's
so excited to
doing
reveal
stuff here.
our third PlayStation portable home entertainment
I like how
system
they're just watching
for
this on their PlayStation. I wouldn't be
3.
surprised if this was just on the PSN store to watch.
This was probably on the PSN store or maybe on like some sort of DVD. I mean, it's EA access, so it
In
could be.
1994, we launched our first
That's pretty funny.
PlayStation capable of rendering real-time
See, that's why digital media is
computer
good though,
graphics.
or physical media is good though, right?
Technology
Someone was able to
Yeah.
archive this
in the
probably
age
from a
of
DVD,
PlayStation might
which
have
is
been
Probably.
fantastic.
advanced at that time for consumer
And it's in
products.
good quality.
But
And it's in good
we
quality.
challenged to integrate all of core technologies into a small box. 6 years after we released our first PlayStation, we tried to create the most
Emotion
powerful
engine.
128-bit microprocessor for computer entertainment applications called Emotion Engine. It opened up a new paradigm in computer entertainment. And now, we have developed the world's most powerful cell processor, which is going to be applied in our next generation system. History of PlayStation was also a history to seek for the latest optical disc media for content distribution system.
Okay.
We employed CD-ROM media for our first system.
Oh, is this when the war
which
between like
became
Blu-ray
a killer to
and...
success.
Or is that later? When does the war of
Yes,
Blu-ray and
Our
HD
decision
BD
was to
happen?
adopt DVD.
I think it would be
Which
happening
clearly
now, because the
popularized
Blu-ray was
DVD
kind of
movie
established
format.
with the PS3, right?
In
Yeah.
this sense,
Yeah,
it will be a
Blu-ray,
great
okay.
chance to support
Yeah, so for those that don't know what I'm talking about,
generation
around this generation of consoles, there was actually kind of like a war between Blu-ray and HD DVD, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And HD DVD was just, well, DVD, but like, well, HD, right?
Yeah.
And Blu-ray, I'm not entirely sure what the difference between the two was, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
And I'm partially saying that because, as I'm sure people would know watching this now, have you seen any HD DVDs? The answer is probably no, because Blu-ray won, like, really hardcore. But that
It
was kind
did.
of, yeah. But that was kind of one of the differences that they may explore later, because I think the 360 used the HD DVD. I think.
I think so, because I remember hearing in the past, I believe it was certain movie studios made like exclusive contracts to only release their movies digitally, or not, sorry, not digitally, but like on the HD DVD. But so I assume there was a reason why people didn't adopt it. I don't know a ton about it, but it did fail pretty hard when Sony released the Blu-ray.
Yeah, like overall the Blu-ray just won out. I think part of it may have been like maybe it could store more. I'm not entirely sure. right?
I think capacity was a big part of it, and I would assume maybe it was also more resistant to piracy.
It may have been more resistant to piracy. I'm not really too sure on. Well, I'm not really too sure on any of this. Like I said, I don't know the differences between the two. Really.
Yeah, I'm not
But
too sure either. I just know Blu-ray has pretty good piracy protection that obviously it's changed over time.
yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that was a main reason why a lot of people went with it. Plus, I think the technology was, I assume, like either cheaper or easier to produce, but I don't know a ton about it, so.
Potentially, that could be it. I also know that Blu-rays are like notoriously resistant to like damage, right?
Yeah.
Like not entirely scratch-proof, but you got to really work at it to actually like damage a Blu-ray disc, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, it's very hard to scratch it like accidentally. Like I think out of all the PS3 games and PS4 games I've ever had, I only ever had it happen to one disc on the PS3.
Yeah. Whereas I assume the HD DVD was probably just as scratchable as a normal DVD, which
Yeah,
ain't super
which is
great.
very scratchable.
Yeah, very scratchable. So, Blu-ray won out. I do just remember there being this big thing where it's like, oh, well, which one's going to win? Blu-ray? Oh, PlayStation's back in Blu-ray? Oh, man, well, that's not going to happen. Or, oh, 360's back in HD DVD? Well, that's kind of meh. And, yeah, so it was it was a weird sub-war within the console war, from what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there was a lot of people against Blu-ray at the time as well, because I remember even back like in the VHS era, Sony tried to release, I think it was called the Betamax, like an
Yeah.
alternative form, and that
Yeah.
failed super hard. So
That
people
did
were
fail.
like, oh, well, Sony is just making other technology. People aren't going to care. And they won out this time.
See, I don't know if Sony made Betamax. That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure it is a Sony thing. Yeah.
It could be. I'm not really too sure. But yeah, no, interesting stuff. So yeah, just a neat little tidbit of like history, I guess, for anyone who cares, right?
Yeah.
System. For storing the state-of-the-art program with vast-rich data, capacity is the key for delivering media. Blu-ray has 6 times bigger capacity than current DVD.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
We would like to accelerate this transition. As of today, PlayStations have achieved a cumulative
Yeah,
190
see,
Wow.
crazy. And it would continue
installed
going higher
in
too. Like
homes
that's
around
kind
the
of the funny thing. Like even after PS2 came out,
It is a
PS2 still sold, but like a lot.
that both PlayStation
Yeah, I do
and
remember that, because that's part of the
PlayStation 2
reason why they
have
stopped selling the
become
backwards
the
compatible
absolute
models for a while, is because they were still
platform
selling
in
so
the
many
world.
PS2s.
Within the last 10 years, over 13,000 titles were released for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 format by number of publishers worldwide. These are very important asset for everyone. We are happy to announce that PlayStation 3 will have backward compatibility to enjoy these assets.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good.
In February at ISSCC, we announced our latest cell processor together with IBM and Toshiba. The chip consists multi-cores for real-time applications. This is a die photograph of the cell processor utilizing 90 nanometer SOI semiconductor technology. It contains 234 million transistors that boost supercomputer-like performance. Our team member, Jim Kerr from IBM, has sent us a video message. So let's take a look at it.
A video message, nice, okay.
The Cell project has been the most important project in
IBM fellow.
It will have a lasting impact on the technology community and will start a new generation of products that will positively benefit the end users.
It's interesting
The
they
development
phrase
of
it that
Cell
way. It makes
is
them
for use
sound
in
more
VR
like an
games.
enthusiast
Its
than like an actual
supercomputer
employee of
attributes will
IBM.
revolutionize
Yeah, right.
computer technology for a new interactive world. As we gathered specialists from IBM, Toshiba, and Sony, we shared the same vision and dreams. The whole team is very excited about the project goals. Even though at times it seemed like an impossible journey, The incredible power of this world-class team overcame the largest challenges to meet the goals. Even IBM, who helped pioneer computer and processor designs throughout history, feels lucky to have participated in this revolutionary project. This appreciation has been felt by the design team, architects, and engineers who all contributed to this great project. We are very excited and are looking forward to see all the new entertainment this chip will help create.
Well,
See, that's boasting a lot more power. Oh boy. PC at
Yeah.
2 gigahertz, 3.2 gigahertz. Man, back when PCs could be that slow. I don't even know what an EE is.
Yeah, I don't know what EE is either. Like, how many gigahertz would we be at now?
Let me think. What's in my CPU? Shit, what is in my CPU? Hold on. Actually, I can find that out if I just go to my PC. You guys aren't gonna see this, which is probably good because I don't want to do anything or I want to potentially expose myself. So my PC is
don't
at
make your specs.
3.80 gigahertz, but that also has like what, 7 cores or something? How many cores does an i7 have?
I assume it's 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. But like that's like 3.80, I think, like times however many other cores are actually in there. So
Yeah,
I assume that's
so-
how it works. Right.
So roughly 8 times the amount.
Roughly 8 times the amount.
Which, I mean, makes sense because we are like 15 years on now.
Yeah. And then you have like the PS2 or PS3 doing pretty good compared to even the 360.
35 times faster
Yeah.
than the Emotion engine and twice the speed of the Xbox 360 processor. This
Throwing some
chart
shade.
shows memory bandwidth
Little
between
bit.
main processor and
Whoa,
main
RDR
memory.
RAM. Whoa, DDR2.
With
Whoa,
Lambda's
DDR3
XDR
or
memory technology,
GDDR3.
PS3 has 8 times faster memory bandwidth than PS2 and 3 times faster compared to the latest PC. Here is a chart
Oh,
that
wow.
shows the latest supercomputer top 5. Current
I don't even know what any of those are.
supercomputer
Yeah, me neither.
has 6 teraflops.
I see the teraflops on the left side, though.
Speed for massive
Yeah, I assume they're just all like
applications.
supercomputers. Well, I mean, they say top 5.
One of the typical
Yeah.
applications for these kind of supercomputers.
See, I do
is
find it
movie
funny that they're
render.
comparing it to supercomputers,
special
considering they had
effects.
that whole program on PS3 called Folding at
Sony
Home,
Imageworks,
where they would
which is
take
a
your
Sony
CPU
Pictures
and essentially make it a
Entertainment Group company,
supercomputer for like medical
has
research.
hired a
Oh, really? I
huge
didn't know that.
number of
That's kinda cool,
custom
actually.
servers for movie
Yeah, it was really
rendering
cool. We actually used to run it
through
on our
long
PS3 a
real-time
decent amount, just to
calculations.
kind of leave it on when we're not using it
A total
for
number
a
of
while,
floating
anyway.
point calculation
That's
speed
pretty cool.
has reached 10
Yeah.
teraflops. We
But
are
part of the
going
reason
to
why they were
utilize
using
such
PS3s at the time, because
supercomputer-like
the
performance in the
capacity
real-time
of it
computer
was like pretty
entertainment
comparable
arena.
to a lot of supercomputers in terms of like
These
CPU and
photographs
everything.
are generated and synthesized by cell processor.
See, now this is interesting. So they're saying that the PS3 has 2 T-flops, I think, right? Is
Yeah.
that what that's? And they're saying supercomputers have 10 when they render movies. It's like, damn, that's a pretty good comparison.
Based system
Right?
Yeah.
with RSX graphics processor.
But who knows? To be fair, this also could be kind of disingenuous because in the end, like, I don't really know how much a T-flop is, right? Like in general. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
really compute that with my head. As an average, like, video game consumer.
I mean, yeah, it's always kind of seemed like a buzzword, because even like last generation, I think Xbox was stating that the Xbox Series X had like a capacity, or even like the Pro version, whatever it was last generation, had 6 teraflops of power. And it's just like, well, what does it even mean?
Yeah, right.
PlayStation 3. Cell will be running at 3.2 gigahertz for computer entertainment applications. Each cell has 8 SPEs, but for PS3, 7 SPEs will be activated. Each SPE
I do
has
find it funny in
dedicated
comparison to the
256
Xbox
gigabyte
conference,
local
because
memory.
it's just like they're talking more about specific specs of
Our PC
parts
based
rather than
core
features of the
processor
console.
has 512
Yeah, right.
kilobyte L2 cache.
Which I mean, for Sony's crowd, like they're very technologically involved when it comes to electronics and business oriented, so it makes sense. But it's very clear it's a very different direction in terms of marketing.
It is.
RSX.
Also, I noticed 1080p, right?
Yeah, up to.
Up to. Xbox only mentioned 720, right?
Yeah.
Is the world's most
Oh, I'm pretty sure
Did
Xbox.
GPU.
Huh?
That
I would say, did Xbox get to
synthesize
1080?
really quality graphics.
I want to say yes. I want to say they could do 1080.
It takes full
But I also
Okay.
don't know,
advantage
because
of the power and
maybe it couldn't.
bandwidth
Hold
of
on,
cells.
I'm curious.
I don't know, because I never had
One
one.
of the
I always
significant
figured they were
advantages
both
of
1080 and then the
RSX
Wii was
is
up to
its
720.
dual
That's what I
screen
recall
output
anyway.
For 32:9 super wide aspect graphics or maintenance sub view application for gameplay.
So, according to the technical specs on the wiki anyway, most games are rendered natively at 720, but the games can be scaled all the way up to 1080.
Okay.
But it depends on the user's console settings.
A supercomputer-like horsepower.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because I know even my original PS3, like if you wanted to, you could use standard, like, EV cables, like the red,
PS3
yellow,
has a
and white
state-of-the-art
cords.
memory system.
Yeah.
Not that I ever did. If I
XDR
didn't have to
has
use component
applied the
cables, I
fastest
wouldn't. I would
boundaries
just
to
use
the cell
HDMI.
computing system,
But
and
Well, see, that's kind of the other thing with the PS3, right? You could do HDMI.
VRAM system.
Like I
Yeah.
said, on a lot of early 360s, you still had component cables. Like mine has component cables, right?
As a
Yeah.
mass storage system,
Mine doesn't have a slot for HDMI, but apparently they also had like a hybrid version where you could have like a slot for HDMI and component cables. But then later ones they just have it be HDMI.
is a benchmark for real-time
Well, that's interesting.
applications.
But it seems like PS3 is like HDMI like right out the gate, right?
it was, yeah, because we got one pretty much at launch period, and ours had HDMI.
With its overwhelming power, PS3 will be capable of handling both digital.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it'd be worth it to get a 360 with HDMI compatibility sometime.
I mean, to be fair, I mean it's possible. It might be better just to do that.
Have powerful interfaces, including 6
I guess that's a good point.
memory stick
Maybe it's
and
better just to
stick
have the money for a
outsole,
360 that instead of like repairing
compact flash
mine
slot.
currently.
Well, yeah, because I assume if we got another one, it would use a very similar power cord. So, like, if we needed to use yours, we could.
HDMI
I'd be
outputs.
curious on how much it would cost, though.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
Together with PlayStation
I mean, local
compatible
game store I
3D
think sells
mouse
360s. I guess we could check.
and
I
optical
would say
data
next time we
audio.
go, maybe we should check and see what they're selling them for.
Another interface for communication.
No gigabit
To
inter
meet
Ethernet.
higher bandwidth for the next
Ah,
generation.
nice.
Well, Bluetooth.
PS3 will have a built-in
7
gigabit
controllers,
Ethernet
huh?
port
Yeah, it's actually I didn't know
with
it could go that high.
2-port switching hub.
I didn't know it could go that high either.
Wi-Fi is also a standard feature.
I
I'm trying
can't
to think
of-
if there's, like,
PS3.
even a game that uses 7 controllers.
Well, I was gonna say I can't think of any game that even needed or could use 7. So maybe it could, but maybe there's never any
PS3
reason to.
will support built-in Bluetooth
Well, maybe it's under the
for
logic where, like,
wireless
okay, you have
controllers.
4 controllers that are connected with Bluetooth, and then you might have stuff like a headset or earphones connected with Bluetooth, maybe stuff like your phone eventually, or, like a camera, possibly? I'm trying to think, like, what else you would want to connect with Bluetooth.
True.
So it might be stuff like that, like more peripherals than necessarily game controllers. It'd be cool if we could use 7, though.
That would be cool.
Which contains up to 50 gigabytes on a disk. We are strongly supporting Blu-ray format for PS3 as a standard feature, and expect to play the same role as we did with DVD. Finally, in addition to games, PS3 will of course be able to perform non-gaming functions.
So I just
such
looked
as
it up because I
digital
was kind of
music,
curious, because
movies,
I found a
and
Reddit post
photographs,
talking about
even during
PS3
gameplay.
supporting up to 7 controllers. This guy's got a list of games,
Video
looks to be
communication
maybe about
over the
20
network
games.
or
For the
internet
most part, they're
browsing
sports
can
games. I'm also
also be
seeing stuff like the
enjoyed
Buzz Quiz game,
simultaneously
Pixel
while
Junk
playing games.
Racers, Sky Fighter, or X-Men Arcade, 6
PS3
players.
truly
So, like, there's a
is
decent
the
amount of games that
system to
support it.
replace
Probably not
in
a
the center of
ton,
the living
but it's
room
kind of
in
cool that it
homes
exists.
around the world.
I mean, it's cool that it exists. I don't know if I'd say like
Feature
20 games is a
is
decent
almost
size.
here.
I'd still say it's pretty small in
It's
comparison to like all the other games that get released.
Well, it is pretty small, but that's a bigger list than I was expecting.
True,
So-
true.
So not that it was widespread, but there were at least some developers that used it. Like I said, mostly for sports games, soccer, hockey, Madden, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, thank you for looking it up.
Yeah. Also, that film when they show Banff and they just show the forest and none of the actual town.
Yeah, right. But hey, Canada mention, right?
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Banff is a very beautiful mountain town.
It's a very beautiful mountain town. Highly recommend anybody go visit and stay at the hotel if you can.
Yeah. I haven't been in a very long time, but it's always a place I've enjoyed going that's relatively local. It's still a decent drive from us.
Yeah. And the hotel is Banff Springs, by the way. Really famous in the area.
Yeah, see, I don't think we ever stayed at that specifically when I was there. I've seen it, though.
Precise simulation combines the real and the imaginary. Once linked to digital information, you can play on any golf course around the world. Reality becomes data. If reality and information...
So the interesting thing I will say about this, right, is I feel like Microsoft kind of did their console reveal a bit better. So far. Like, we'll have to see so far how it goes. But it was a lot of, like, let's show you stuff. And this is more let's tell you stuff.
So please
Yeah.
join me in welcoming
I would
the
agree with that.
co-founder of Nvidia, Jason Wong.
Like, hopefully they show, like, actual gameplay from it so we can kind of see what it's capable of. Because, like, as right of now, it's like, yeah, you can hear the PC specs, but it's very different than actually seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to be here. And I'm delighted to join you to announce clearly the most important digital consumer device to be built this decade, and one that you have so passionately worked on.
That
over
is
the last
quite
5
the
years.
claim, wow.
It is,
Our
right?
two teams share a passion for computer graphics.
Um,
Nvidia is home to a very large number of the world's most talented graphics design engineers. Over the course of the last
now
12
it's
years,
kind of
we've
funny that
dedicated
he's
well
brought up,
over
right?
$1
Because
billion
I know on
in
Reddit I've
R&D
been seeing this like so much
to advance
lately
this technology.
about how
Over
this guy's
1,000
cousin is like on the
patented
executive
technologies,
board of AMD,
including one of the
Oh,
most
yeah?
important contributions
which
we've
is
made to the
I don't know, for some
computer
reason got a lot of people
industry,
talking
the
now.
programmable
Because they're
sharing
like, oh,
process.
he's the founder of Nvidia and his cousin's
Today, you
like
can find NVIDIA's
the president and chief
GPUs,
executive officer and chair of
standard in the
AMD.
highest performance computers and the most
So that's kind of
graphics
interesting,
workstations
you know.
around the world.
I wonder if they're implying there was some kind of
So you could
collusion with the two
imagine
companies to, like, compete against
How
each other.
excited we were
I mean, you never know,
when
to be
Ken
fair.
invited us
No proof, of course, but I mean, if they are
to
related,
build
then
the
obviously
PlayStation 3 GPU.
probably no bad blood between
Ken
like
had
two
three
competing companies in that case.
Very lofty goals.
I mean, no, it's
First,
probably just they
To build
share
absolutely
at least
the most
some,
advanced GPU the
like,
world has
insights
ever
about
seen.
the industry and maybe some ideas.
Second,
Who knows?
They
Maybe
might.
they don't talk
to
about
truly
it.
make it possible to synthesize
It's true. It's like a family reunion. You just don't talk about like your business, I guess. I don't know. I'd be curious.
I mean, I'd be curious too, but I don't know how much they'd want to talk to their competitor, even if it is family, right?
I mean, true.
Now these are
It'd be cool if they have like
daunting
a
goals.
relationship like that, though.
the
Like, still
fundamental
able to compete with
challenge of
against each other
graphics,
with no,
of
like,
computer graphics,
bad blood or anything.
is
Yeah.
the tension between beauty and speed. The x-axis represents the speed of graphics rendering. The y-axis represents the beauty
I like how reality is just like at the top.
of the rendered image.
Yeah, I was gonna say the y-axis is
Movies
reality.
Clearly beautiful.
Yo, it's
and
Spider-Man.
fantastic to look at.
I don't know who the dude on the bottom
But
is.
they take hours and hours to render
Ah.
on farms of CPUs.
I'm not too sure, because, like, just off glance, it
consoles,
looks
on
like
the
the
other
Gears of
hand,
War character, but I know it's probably not.
does.
Are lightning
Right? Like it
fast,
looks a lot like a
Maybe it-
Gears character.
I say maybe it's a thing from
knee-jerk
Killzone.
reaction,
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
but clearly
It's not a
doesn't come
Hellgast.
anywhere close
But it could be something else.
to the image quality that you see in movies.
Yeah, I'll admit I don't
think
know a
it's
lot about
Hellgast.
Killzone.
Computer graphics, technology.
Hellgast are the
uses
the
movies
dudes
to
that
cause shaders,
are like the
programs
face
that
of
run on
Killzone.
Farms and farms of servers.
The
Yeah.
enemies.
Takes hours and hours to
I
render
kind of
each
figure
pixel
from
and
your
each
context
frame.
that's probably what they were, like the guys with the
The
masks and
technology
stuff,
of
right?
Computer
Yeah.
consoles, game consoles,
is called texture mapping. Fast.
Yeah. One day
but
I'll play
limited.
Killzone.
Same. I really want to play through the series
Our
at some
goal
point.
with the PlayStation 3 graphics is to overcome this fundamental barrier and bring movie quality images to game consoles at 60 frames per second. Our solution is the RSX, Reality Synthesizer. There are so many new technologies that are introduced in the
Highest
RSX
HD resolution,
that it will
2K
take
and
years to
1K.
describe.
2K by 1K.
It is
I
the
was gonna say, I like how they
culmination
call
of
it that
over
instead of
1,500
1080p. I guess the
man-years
name wasn't
of
like
engineering.
fully finalized
There
at
are
this
4,
point.
however, that are
I mean,
extremely
potentially not.
important in the next generation of game consoles.
Or maybe it just like depend on who you talk
The
to.
heart and soul of the RSX, the programmable
I mean,
shading
maybe they
processors.
just do it that way because it sounds
The
bigger.
RSX can process 136 shader operations simultaneously in one clock. Second, 128 bits floating point pixel precision. This is something that's just truly spectacular. Today's game consoles are limited to 32 bits of pixel precision, which means that we can only express 250 shades of lights for each color. And I'll illustrate to you later that that's simply limiting and will not achieve the level of quality we want to see in movie-like images. The third, 2K by 1K resolution. Resolution is the enemy of graphics. The higher the resolution, the more pixel processing capability you need, and the more system memory.
I like how that's
and
still
graphics
true
memory memory
nowadays.
you need.
Yeah, right.
2K by 1K, 2 million pixels. The highest resolution of HD supported on this game console. And lastly, most importantly, is the overall system architecture to achieve this incredible throughput. Now let me put this all into perspective. The RSX is based on our next generation graphics architecture that has never been seen before and that we will preview for the first time to the world today.
GeForce 680
There are
or
300 million
6,800
transistors
Ultras. I don't even know which ones
on
those
one
are.
chip. Half a
6800
billion.
Yeah, I can't
Ultras.
say I've heard of those ones.
These are little tiny 1 micron electronic devices that connect each layer of metal. And if you connect it back to back, all of the interconnect on this chip, it will reach half a mile. 300 million transistors, 8 layers of metal, built on Sony's 90 nanometer process. Now, another way to think about this is how much performance is there. The RSX has twice the performance of the GeForce 6800 Ultras, the highest performance GPU in the world today. Each one of these GPUs retail for $500. There will be 2 of them. equivalent
So I'm kind of
horsepower
wondering if this might
in
be the
RSX.
first, like, quote unquote, like, boring conference,
what
right?
is
Kind of like what we were
300
talking
million
about earlier.
transistors?
I promise I
This is
didn't plan it.
A bit of an obscure
Right.
little transistor,
But like,
little
this is just
electronic devices.
very much like
300
technical
million
information, which I'm
transistors
sure some
is
people are really
equivalent to,
into, but I feel
essentially,
like this is something that would have
the
lost a lot of
Xbox
people at E3.
GPU, the PS2
Yeah.
graphics synthesizer,
It is pretty dry and
the
not too interesting. Like, it's
GameCube
kind of cool to
flipper
know
chip,
the specs,
Gecko
but like,
microprocessor,
they're not breaking
the
it up
Xbox
by
Pentium 3
showing
GPU,
or really
CPU,
telling us much
the
else.
PlayStation 2 Emotion
Yeah.
Engine, and you kick in the highest performance PC CPU in the world today.
And it's like,
All
yeah,
of
this
that
is cool,
combined
don't get me
is
wrong,
300
but
million transistors.
I want to see
Now, the
games.
question is, what do you
Yeah.
do with 300 million
And I know other
transistors?
people
Well,
would think the
here's
exact same
the
thing as
RSX
me,
is
because I remember
provided.
there were being a few E3s where people would go like, yeah, but where are the
fixed-function
games?
texture mapping capabilities
You know?
are too limiting.
I mean,
And
yeah,
programmable
I feel like
shading
Sony probably
processors
learned its lesson from this
requires an
in
extraordinary
particular.
amount of
And I mean,
computational
as we know with
horsepower.
hindsight, like, the
Instead of just
PS3 in
a
general was a
pre-computed
very
detail
expensive console.
that is
So it's
Yes.
possible
layered
that they
on top of a
front-loaded
3D
this
object.
presentation with technical specs so they could
In
justify
those
the
kind of
price a
texture
bit more.
mapping
Maybe,
architecture,
which is something I do
it
want to
is not
talk
possible
about
for us
next year, actually.
to articulate
Yeah.
the subtle material surfaces that are only visible pixel at a time as you interact with the environment, the lighting and the shadows of the environment around you. It's simply impossible to articulate brushed aluminum, carbon fiber, felt, carpeting, wool, silk, and even be able to show the difference between gold paint and gold. We want to achieve
Honestly,
that
I
level of
almost
realism.
wonder if part of the reason why
In
they're
order to
not
do
really
that,
showing much is because they're
we
revealing
incorporated
stuff about
a
the PS3
farm
maybe a
of
bit too early.
programmable shading processors.
Maybe.
So that each and every
I guess
single
that's kind of
pixel
another thing to kind of
will
look
be
at too,
computed
yeah,
in
because
real time.
like obviously other companies
addition to
have
texture
like
maps,
feelers out there, kind of like
we will
learning
now
when the
provide
other
also
competitors
light
might be
maps,
revealing
shadow
something.
maps, bump maps,
Yeah.
normal
And
maps.
and I think
even
around
some
this point too,
really
I think a lot of
exciting
consoles were kind of
new
like
things
revealed
like
outside of E3.
surface
Funnily
reflectance
enough,
functions,
like initially,
surface
right?
and
Yeah.
subsurface scatter functions,
Um,
to be able to articulate the really subtle effects.
so I could see there being
that you
some
see in
companies
real
that are going
life.
like, okay, competitors gonna reveal this console, we need to be there
Let
too,
me show you now
so we're not left
and
Yeah.
behind.
demonstrate for the first time
Yeah, because this is kind of what it
our
feels
next
like to me,
generation
is that they're
GPU
like, okay, we're
and
not
give
quite
you a
ready to
sense of
show
what
visual
pixel
examples of
shaders
what the
can
PS3
do.
itself can do, like in-engine.
This
But
is
like
Luna.
they want to
She is
have
a
it out there
computer-generated
and compete with them
person.
and
And
not
notice
feel like they're
all of the
being left
subtleties,
behind. Because
Yeah.
as we
especially
know,
shine
the
on her
PS3
lips,
came out like a year later.
the soft
So I think it's
shadows
very
under her
likely
nose
that
and
that's the
above her
case, which
lips.
is why they're not showing us a lot of
Notice
stuff
that the
they've done with
specular
the
highlight
PS3,
on her
because
cheeks
it's still in a relatively
shows the
beta version of
imperfections
the
her
console.
skin.
Yeah,
Notice
I
that
think
light is
you're
penetrating her
right.
skin and scattering underneath her skin so that you see her rosy cheeks. The volumetric shadows on her hair. Her hair looks so incredibly soft. All of these effects are made possible
Oh,
All
that's
right.
a
with
interesting
programmable
line.
shaders.
That is an interesting line.
However, we want to do a lot more than that. What the PlayStation 3 is about is creating beautiful worlds that come alive.
Jump scare.
Yeah, a
In
little bit
addition,
actually. That
the
was kind of
programmable
loud as a
shaders
gasp.
are
That was a
articulating
little
the skin,
loud.
the skeletal structure, and her muscles
3D woman
underneath
jump scare.
in order to express the subtle emotions.
Yeah.
The plasma beam is now circling around her, and her bodysuit is now coming to life, reflecting, refracting, and absorbing light
Nvidia's
into
being
the
weird
world.
right now.
These lovable creatures
Yeah.
are also rendered with shaders. Notice the plasma so bright
Oh,
in
the
dark
eyes.
that it actually penetrates
Yeah.
the membranes of their
Yeah, no, I
of
don't
their
know why
skin.
they're
And
showing
rendering for the
weird
first time
stuff like
effects
this.
that
Like,
have
I
never been
guess
seen before,
it's weird.
volumetric rendering of
I guess that was the PS3 in a
you can
nutshell,
see the
but
skeleton
you
in the
know,
back.
in terms
Yeah,
of
I
like
mean-
marketing, but we'll get there too.
The lights are so bright
Well,
that
it
they're
is. I think
flooding
it's just in terms of like
over the silhouette
trying to
of
show
the characters.
how, I guess, interesting
This is
they
a
can make the
simple
graphics
technology
render. Because even looking
demonstration
at those
of
guys'
what is the
hands, like they're
possibility
kind of
of the
trying to show
PlayStation 3.
the shapes they're able to
Thank you.
do, the movements of the joints and the fingers. Like,
And they're able to
I
show that
feel
the
like,
skin's see-through.
yeah, and I feel like that's pretty common. Because even if you go look at stuff like 3D Mark, like they
Luna's
have some
beautiful
pretty
enough to
cool
fall in
like
love with.
little tech videos that they do
Now, the
in
second
terms
most
of like
important,
showing you
in
as
addition
they're
to the
like
ability to
testing
be able to
your computer
articulate
components.
the surface
Like
material,
I've even said to my brother
we
before,
also
like when
need
I
to
first
have
did
a
it, I'm like,
color
man, if this was
format
a
and color
game movie, so
precision
cool.
that can express the incredible subtleties that we're going to be able to
So I
render.
wouldn't be surprised if that's common with stuff like
Today's
this.
computer
Maybe.
systems are limited to 32 bits. I want to show you some imagery that is courtesy of Paul Debevic at University of Southern California and one of the leading experts in a technology called high dynamic range. 32 bits can only articulate 250 tones.
Man, to think this is the
of
beginning
light.
of
And yet our
HDR.
eyes, and certainly my eyes right now,
Yeah.
I can see 50,000 to 1 contrast. So in the brightest of lights and the darkest of shadows, our eyes still have the ability to see deep and subtle details. In order to be able to articulate this level of realism, we need to take our color format to floating point. With the RSX, we're introducing 128 bits with floating point precision for each and every single pixel. Let me show you the effect of that. On the upper side is the original image, both of which currently look the same. On the top, we're going to show you 32 bits accuracy, and on the bottom, we're going to show you 128 bits of high dynamic range pixel precision.
Okay.
As we make the lights brighter, notice
Ah,
that the top is
I
starting
see.
to wash out, and it's simply because it doesn't have enough precision to deal with the brightness of light. The details through the window are already essentially lost. If we make it even brighter,
I was gonna say I didn't really see much of a difference between like the original image, but now I get it.
Of 128 bits
Yeah.
of pixel precision is clear. However, the amount of electronics and the amount of horsepower necessary to do so and deliver that capability in real time is staggering. RSX will bring that to the game console world. Resolution. This is the digital era.
Yo, PS1, yo, you can
Digital
just
displays
make
are
out
getting higher and
Spider-Man.
higher resolution. PlayStation 1
Yeah.
was introduced during the time of NTSC and
Yeah, I
2D.
love
320 by
how-
240 though.
240
Wow.
resolution.
Yeah, right. Very
The
teeny.
PlayStation 2
Oh, look, now you can see more
was the
Spider-Man.
first entry into digital.
Yeah.
digital
But I do
display
love how
and has a
the
resolution
Sony's
of
just been using
720
Spider-Man like
by
for the past like
486.
couple E3s.
The PlayStation 3
I mean, it makes a
going to
lot of
bring
sense because I
2
mean, this is during the prime of
megapixels
Spider-Man with the Sam Raimi movies.
time.
Because like Spider-Man
Yeah.
3 would have been
2
coming out in
megapixels.
2005, I
That is the
believe.
resolution
I
of movies,
believe
it is
so.
the resolution you're currently seeing broadcasted to you right now. Having this level of resolution
It's subtle
on your
advertising
TV
for the
screen at
movie.
home
Shh.
Little
is going
bit.
to be absolutely spectacular. When you combine that with Blu-ray and digital panels that are going to be coming
Honestly,
out
I
in the
wouldn't be
future,
surprised if that shot is
uh,
even from the
the living
movie.
room
I
will never
can't
be
say
the
I
same.
recall because it's been a long time, but
It could be.
And lastly, and most importantly, is the overall system performance. Putting it together, the first thing you notice is the bandwidth of the bus between the cell processor and the RSX. 35 gigabytes per second. That's 7 DVDs in 1 second. 7 DVDs will be transferred across that bus in 1 second. It is 7 times the bandwidth of the highest performance PC today.
Damn,
The
that's a
second
lot of
is
DVDs.
100
Yeah.
billion shader operations per second. The ability to process shaders is going to be the critical measure of performance and beauty in the coming generation of game consoles. 100 billion is 3 times that of the highest PC today. 51 billion dot products per second. A dot product is the fundamental and one of the most important calculations in 3D graphics. The highest performance Pentium 4 can perform 3 billion dot products per second. 51 versus 3, 2 teraflops. Over 120 times the performance of a Pentium 4. And of course, 512 megabytes of graphics render memory. One of the most interesting and most exciting architectural advantages that we're bringing to this generation is that the RSX can render pixels to anywhere in system memory. So instead of being limited to just the 4 megabytes of the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3 will have 512 megabytes available to it for graphics memory. So how do you put all this stuff together? Well, we're going to show you the first demonstration,
Ooh.
real-time demonstration of a next-generation game console and a next-generation game. To help me do that is Tim
Unreal
Sweeney,
Engine 3.
founder and chief
Yo,
technical
epic.
officer,
Before they got really big, actually.
and Josh,
yeah.
is capable
Back when they were
scientist.
mostly known as the makers of like the Unreal Engine. And not, you know, the guys that made Fortnite. Right.
Now here we're showing
Yeah, I
Unreal
think the
Engine 3
PS3
up and running
generation
in
is when they
real time
kind
on
of started
PlayStation
doing
3
more
hardware
games
right now.
publishing, but they didn't really get big as a publisher until Fortnite.
Yeah.
We're not going to say
Oh.
anything so you guys can enjoy this demonstration.
Yo. Okay, that's
Huh.
the guy from the graph.
Yeah, I say I don't recognize him, but that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think this is from like any game.
I mean, probably not.
It's just meant to go like, yo, look how cool this is.
That robot is surprisingly durable.
Yeah. He does look a lot like a Gears man, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yo, the robot's still alive, my dude. Nice. Oh. Yeet. There you go. You beat the robot and landed looking pretty cool.
It's actually kind of funny in terms of like cinematic direction. Like if this didn't have like a futuristic vibe, I would just think it's like a scene from God of War.
Yeah, I could see that too, actually.
Tim, there is just absolutely
Maybe it's
no
just because
way
I
this
was
real
playing
time.
it a
You're gonna
while
have to
ago.
prove
It
to
just
the audience.
feels like something that would be one of those
Game
games.
demo, and take over controls so Josh can actually navigate through the environment and see what we have here. And here we have a 720p high definition screen being rendered with per pixel lighting and per pixel shadowing. With shaders, they're more than 200 times more complex than was possible in the previous generation.
Wow.
Damn, it looks so real.
So here we see a floating point render
Yeah.
target with very high dynamic.
It does look really nice, actually. Like,
per pixel lighting,
especially
It
for the
does.
time.
The effects that you've seen in previous generation movies are now being done in real-time games.
I
now
do like
today
how
with
he's
this
basically no
generation.
clipping through
And the
this
high
demo though.
dynamic range is what
Yeah.
makes it possible for us to see the incredibly bright highlights while still seeing the details of the shadows.
Oh, exactly. It's the real difference between what
Like,
you've
granted,
seen
this
in
is,
video
like,
games before, where you had 8-bit graphics.
All just meant to look as
versus
pretty
what
as
you
it
see in
can. Like,
film,
even
which
then,
is
I
very,
don't think
very
mini
high
games would
definition.
look like this
So tell us,
on
Tim,
a
how long has it
PS3
taken you
or
guys to
anything.
develop this
But
game
they would still look
on
really
top
good.
uh,
of the PS3
Right.
dev kit?
Well,
Yeah, I don't
amazingly,
think we
got
got
the
stuff
first
quite like this
PlayStation
until
3
like
hardware
pretty
only
late
2
into
months
the
ago.
PS3 generation.
So what you see here
Yeah.
is just 2 months of work bringing Unreal Engine 3 up and running. And this was so fast because we have a lot of experience with PC development, and all of that knowledge was immediately applicable to PlayStation 3, which has a very nice development pipeline, OpenGL-based, CG shading language-based, and all standard-based, and very easy to write for.
That's terrific. This is really awesome stuff. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Tim.
Nice. Good job,
There you have
Epic,
it.
before you
That's the
became...
artifacts. You know, what
They're not
you
really
see today
evil.
is really just the tip of the iceberg.
Just kind of
Corporatized.
repetitive. Yeah, corporatized. Yeah, that's
Truly
it.
revolutionary.
Yeah.
game console
Some people would
PlayStation
probably
3.
say, yo, what's the
It's just been
difference?
an incredible privilege for us to work with Ken
To
and
be
his
fair.
team on building clearly the
I
most
mean,
important
I don't
digital
know. Like,
consumer
I guess if they
platform
really
of
wanted
this
to be
decade.
evil, they could be doing
I
a
hope
lot
you guys
more
all
to
enjoy
harm
the
the
rest of show.
industry.
Thank you.
Mostly I say that because of their engine and stuff. They could be trying to pull a Unity and putting an
Ladies and
install
gentlemen,
fee
please
on like every
welcome
game or
Masa
even
Yeah.
stuff at their store.
That is true.
And they have market dominance when it comes to game engines, so like that would be pretty detrimental if they ever tried that.
Thank you.
But I think they're
Good
smart enough
afternoon.
not to
I'm
do it,
very-
especially
very
after
pleased to be
Unity
here.
got roasted.
This is
Definitely.
a very exciting moment for all of our people who has been developed the PlayStation 3 development.
Show us
This
the
is the
games.
This is PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah, dude. So many people would be saying
shown
that
here
at this
for the
point.
first time.
PlayStation
PlayStation 3 has a
Oh no,
I'm
more
sure
tech.
someone happened.
elegant simplicity combined with outstanding performance.
Yeah, because like I like seeing stuff about like the new consoles, right? Like I do like it when there's like they're showing new console stuff at E3. But yeah, this isn't it, Sony. This is not it. This isn't how you get people excited. It's how you get like probably like industry people excited. To be
Yeah.
fair, because like I could see a lot of people in the industry at the time looking at this and going like, oh wow, yeah, no, this is looking really good. But they also know what all this is, right? They care a lot
Yeah.
more. I just want to see the games. And I feel like that's what E3 is to a lot of people, especially when they started broadcasting it to a wider audience, right?
Yeah.
So for me, watching this live, because I'm pretty sure, once again, I would have, because I'm pretty sure I did watch E3 like yearly after around like the 2003 point. And obviously checking up on the Game Facts threads probably just to see what other people are talking about. And just seeing a lot of like
At the same time,
Like, yo, this is nice, but like, where's all the games? Like, show me what I want to see, right?
To have 2 HD monitors.
Yeah, I
Then
do like the idea of people
you can
using
enjoy a
GameFAQs to talk
panoramic
about the
view
conference
which
because
creates a
that
horizontally
was
seamless
probably a
image
thing
of
before people
32
used
by
Reddit
9
for a similar
aspect
thing.
ratio.
Well, yeah, I don't think Reddit even existed
And
at the
even
time.
more attractive use
Yeah, I
of
think
the
Reddit
dual
came out
screen feature
close
will
to
be
like 2008 or
to show
2010, somewhere around there.
and statistical information.
And yeah, so
will be
like I just remember
displayed
GameFAQs
on
threads
the
like popping up because you
even
had
on
like
the PC
your
monitor.
your threads,
While
right? So you'd
playing
have
a
someone
sports
make a
game
thread,
on
and then
larger
when that hit
screen.
500 posts, like you'd have people trying to scramble
You
to
can
make the
video
next one,
chat
so they would
with
have the
your
500 thread,
friends
right?
At the same time
Yeah.
as a playing game. This is not
Like nowadays,
simply
it would for
to
sure be
display
Reddit.
Of the same game, but
Yeah.
allowing
Reddit was
the
founded in
user to
2005.
comment and control
Oh, really? I thought it was
sources of
not quite as
multiple
old.
channels of the entertainment simultaneously.
I mean, sure,
Further,
2000 like started 2005, but it certainly wouldn't have the a user base like at all at this
PlayStation
point.
3 can be controlled
Well,
by
yeah,
wide
like I
variety of
assume
devices,
I'm probably thinking
all
of like when
wireless.
it maybe
The
started to become a
controller
little
that
bigger.
ship with-
I'm not sure.
Probably.
that will ship with the system uses
I didn't
Bluetooth
really get into
technologies
it till a
to
couple years ago.
guarantee
I was really
real-time
behind on the
response.
train.
Because
Requiring the most
actually, like looking at
expensive
this, Reddit was actually
video
founded
game
like a month
applications.
after the C3.
Oh, really?
Bluetooth
Yeah,
also
June
That's
is
23rd.
interesting.
designed with a lower power consumption in mind,
Huh.
and will provide more than 1 day game play time before having to be recharged by any USB port or the PS3 or other device. In addition to
Also, I
USB
do like how they
standard
were
interface
marketing
for
the no
various
multi-tap. They're like,
controllers,
yeah, you don't have to
like,
buy an extra peripheral.
iToy camera,
Yeah, right.
there is also a built-in wireless network interface that allows connection to Wi-Fi devices.
USB
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good
controller.
point. I forgot you could connect the PSPs
This
that way
allows
too. So I guess that would be
PSP
part of
to
their
become
Bluetooth
a
connectivity with the
remote
7
controller,
controllers.
as well as a remote
Probably.
screen.
Yeah, and they got a
Whether
driving
you're in the
wheel
next room
and a camera
or
and stuff.
on the
Yeah.
other side of the
Yeah,
world.
and a microphone, I believe.
From any remote location,
Okay, I wasn't too sure what that
PSP
was.
can access to
I think that's a
PS3
microphone.
to play
I
the
could be
whole
wrong.
I think you're right.
which lands your PS3 at your home.
But like a singing microphone for like
The
those
always-on,
karaoke kind of
always
games.
connected nature of PS3
Yeah.
means that your secure media can be accessed remotely at any time over broadband or wireless networks. SE has pioneered the concept of the camera attached to PS2, with over 2.5 million iToy cameras sold across the world.
Yeah, kind of the
And
advancement
now,
from
we
the
are
iToy,
pleased to
with like just having it be a
introduce
camera.
to the next generation of high-definition
Yeah,
IP
that's pretty
camera
funny.
to PS3. This camera is IP-based, allowing the user to praise the camera anywhere in the world, in home and anywhere on the planet. Through IP-based networks, this location-free concept allows any PS3 user to instantly launch their own broadcast station anywhere in the world. Think of it as the next generation personal homepage. Rather than simple text and still images, I could provide my own high-definition video news and information live or archived from hard disk drive.
Oh boy.
PS3.
I don't like the idea of anybody having the
allow
ability
user
to like
to
broadcast their
travel
own
to
news
another
from
user's
anywhere, which is
camera
what we have now with YouTube,
So you can
mind
make
you.
a virtual visit
Yeah.
But
to the beach in Maui, Hawaii, or just by selecting the HD video and audio channel. In the PS2 era, the network function was additional hardware and software solution. The PS3 era fundamentally
community,
changes this
communication,
approach.
commerce, and content.
The
The
network
four
is
C's.
one element of the PlayStation 3 DNA.
Apparently, yeah.
Every aspect of the system has been designed with the broadband and home networks in mind. PS3 is an always-on, always connected device. The 4 C's of the network, commerce, community, content, and communication are built in.
Yeah, see, if
to
people
every
didn't believe that
aspect of
we're
the
even
system
gonna like
design
sit through the board
and
E3s
operating
without
system,
like,
allowing
you know,
applications
skipping anything
to
or fast
easily
forwarding, I hope
exploit
this is proof
these
that we're
features.
actually willing to kind of stick to that.
Media browsing
Yeah. I will fed up with it.
Well, I guess it's kind of true. You don't really have the control. You could say, "Hey, can we do this?" And I'd probably just say, "No, we're doing it like legit." But
I mean, yeah, which is why I haven't said anything. I'm just saying the fact. If I had the choice, I probably would skip the tech talk.
yeah, no, like I get that. But hey, like I said, this is meant to emulate if we were sitting there in real time watching E3. How bored do we feel? Right? Because
I
to
am
be fair,
pretty bored.
yeah, right. Because to be fair, we could skip this and like see games if they even show any. But then by the end of it, when we go like, oh, who won E3? We won't have the full picture, right?
Yeah, no, I get why you're doing it this way.
Yeah. Because with this, now we'll say like, oh, well, Sony's is pretty boring. Like, even if we start showing games now, you still have like half of the conference being incredibly boring. Right?
Yeah. Like, even if this improves, it's probably still going to be the bottom of the list this year.
Probably.
Because even Xbox did a better job of showing off their console.
They did. Like, I think you're right that Xbox just got the head start, and everybody's like, okay, shoot, we need something to show.
Yeah.
Right?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Massa. It's a great pleasure to be here. One housekeeping notice. I've just been asked to point out that although we are running a little bit late and behind schedule, we have an amazing surprise at the end of the show. So please do make sure you
stick around.
So, anyway.
Okay, if you're bored, please wait. We have something to show you, I promise.
Yeah, right. I almost wonder if maybe that was like them understand that, okay, this is kind of boring, right? We know people aren't going to stick around too much longer for this.
I mean, yeah. There's a lot of stuff you could be doing at E3. Sitting through tech talk like this is not super interesting when you could just go on the show floor if you wanted.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he said that because he's already seen people starting to leave.
It's certainly possible.
A duck that became famous for showing off the capability of PlayStation 2 and the emotion engine and graphics synthesizer. It was also a lot of fun. Why don't we remind ourselves of what that looked like 6 years ago?
Yo, on the PS2, yo. I don't know if we saw this. Did we see this at E3? I don't remember.
I don't know if we did. This might have been from a conference we weren't able to find.
True.
So, should we take a look and see what he looks like?
Nice. What's he look like on PS3? Yo.
Red screen.
Oh wait.
Today.
It's coming.
The demo.
Yo! Look at that reflection. The water looks a lot better.
It does look a lot better. This is actually like pretty impressive.
Man in suit uses game controller. Shock. And we have the ability to render the water in great detail. As I jump the duck in and out, you can see the caustics and all the effects that are being rendered in real time on this fantastic HD display.
Show us flowing water from the tap.
TV, by the way.
I hope they do.
Available in a Best Buy near you tomorrow. So, I do think our duck might be a little lonely. So let's introduce
pirate ships.
Oh, nice.
to him. And you can see
they're gonna shoot the cannons.
Yeah. Okay, that looks a little goofy, but I like it.
I like it too.
I'll do my best to play two players at once, which is challenging, I have to say. And you can see that as I move around the camera, the cloth dynamic is being damaged by the cannonballs in real time, and
that's cool.
Everything is
this is kind of cool.
But I still think our duck's a little bit lonely, don't you? Let me add a couple more.
Yo, more ducks!
Yay, ducks!
So here you have all the physics working, and all the collisions, and all the dynamics, and all the fluid simulation. But he's still a little bit lonely. I think he still needs more friends. So let's stick in a couple more here. And this gives you an example
now they're just showing off.
Overwhelming performance of PlayStation 3.
Yeah, showing how many objects are going to. No!
Well, one duck is gone.
So happy to leave the.
It's over. He's dead. No.
But I don't think that's enough ducks. I don't think you can.
More ducks.
Yeah, now they're just completely showing off. I see.
Yeah, they're just showing off.
Which is lots of ducks. It did work.
LOD, lots of ducks. Now, I'll have to remember that one.
You think that's impressive? You think that's amazing? We can do more. And to help illustrate what else we can do to this particular demo, I'm going to ask Dr. Richard Marks to join me on stage, the creator of iToy. Come on, Richard. Come and join me.
Yo, the creator of iToy.
Come on, move over there.
We saw you a couple of E3s ago.
We did.
So, what do we have here today, Rick?
So what we've done
So
is
that's what
we've
the camera
taken
is
an
then.
iToy and plugged it in to this demo, this beautiful water demo that shows off this kind of tub. But I've also brought some cups to show you that kind of cups my children might play with in the bathtub. So as you see, I pick up this cup and I pick up this cup. I can reach out now.
I say, can you scoop up the water?
Well, you can imagine. I would like to just dip the cup in and get some of the water right out of the...
See, really impressive. That is actually really impressive. But I'm gonna point out, I don't think the PS3 had this kind of technology to use like a function with a webcam like that, did it? Where you could pick up like cups and have them like be cups in anything, like an
I'm
iToy.
not too sure if it's exactly like that. I'm trying to remember because I never had a camera for the PS3.
I'm sure your
But I
cousins
mean,
did.
it does exist. Like, I'm just looking it up because I was kind of curious. And they did have a PlayStation Eye, I guess is what they called it.
I'm trying to think, because actually, yeah, because didn't they have? Yeah, I think I do remember something about that actually.
So, PlayStation Eye is a digital camera similar to a webcam. It uses computer vision and gesture recognition to process images. It allows the players to interact with games using motion and color detection as well as sound with a built-in microphone. That's interesting. I wonder how many games are actually compatible with it.
Probably not a ton.
Oh, Eye of Judgment was one of them. Okay, that's kind of funny.
Okay, yeah, see, okay, I was gonna say, I do remember Eye of Judgment. Good idea, but, you know, didn't really work out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it got a ton of support, because, like, they started producing games in 2007. There's, like, 10 games or so on there. 2008 has, like, another 10 games. Little Big Planet being one of them, too. But then 2009, it goes down to 5. 2010 is also another, like, 10 or so. And then 2011 and 2012 have 4 and 1. So at that point, it's just like, yeah, they're not really supporting it much.
Yeah, so that's interesting though. I don't know. I guess they were really trying to push for like the iToy to be their big breakthrough technology, but it just never really got picked up.
I do find it funny that they tried it for so long too, because there's even like a PlayStation 4 camera that, again, I feel like is a similar thing where there's not a ton of games that use it. The only one in particular I know of is Until Dawn, and it will kind of just take screenshots of you when a jump scare happens on screen.
Oops. Sorry. Adjusting my armrest. My bad.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. That is really interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some more water.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's really interesting to see that Sony tried to get it on
Throw it across the room.
motion controls before it became like big.
Standard iToy camera, but
yeah.
But I do kind of feel like having the controller is just honestly better. Maybe that's why people didn't adopt this really, because they kind of wanted like a controller, and that's why the Wii became so much more loved with motion control stuff.
I think so, because I mean they're showing it off pretty well in that demo, but I imagine in most games, if the Kinect is anything to go by, motion controls without an actual controller are generally kind of finicky and not good.
Yeah, right.
Because even like PlayStation Move, like from what I played of it, it played pretty alright. Just didn't have a lot of games.
So I can't really say about that one. I never used the Move.
I didn't use it a lot, but I did play through Heavy Rain with it. And it was really good up until, like, right at the end of the game, where it was kind of just asking you to press too many buttons while doing motions. So I kind of turned it off. But...
it's not just about how objects look, it's about how they behave. In this demonstration, we have a real
once again showing off a bit.
Controlling all of the hundreds of thousands of leads
as you should
in real time. Plus, we've got 5.1 surround sound.
That's interesting. It almost looks like this is a similar tech to what that game company used for Flower.
It could be. Because Flower was a PlayStation game, wasn't it?
It was,
PC? I don't
yeah.
remember. Yeah, okay.
Another example of the tremendous computational power of PlayStation 3 is shown with this next demonstration. It's appropriate that since we're here at the home of Sony Pictures, home of movie magic and special effects, that we show the PlayStation 3's ability to blow stuff up. And what I'd like to do now is to show you a scene
Auto
from a game
parts.
that we have in development, which has not yet to be announced, but obviously being a gas station in the middle of the desert and being a digital set, will surely
So I wonder what
be
game
able
this
to
would
blow it
be.
up. So let's blow it up.
Yeah,
Now,
I would be curious.
What this demonstration actually uses is only the cell processor to render volumetrically all of the performance required to simulate an explosion, thermal dynamics, heat, gas, smoke, fire. This is not an animation. This is not something that an artist created. This is all purely physics-based. We can even run it at night. Let's have a look at it with the lights turned down and run it one more time. Here in slow motion, you can see that the heat haze and gases emitted by the simulation accurately represented on screen. Phenomenal example of the power
It did look like the
of
things
both
did explode in a
PlayStation
different
3
like
cell
way as well.
and RSX.
Yeah.
Let's run it one more time, and then we'll move on to the next demo. It's a fantastic presentation. What PlayStation 3 also allows us to do is to converge many of the creative industries that work in the world together on one platform for the first time. And to help demonstrate this, we turn to our friends at Sony Pictures Imageworks, the Oscar-winning special effects wizards from the movie Spider-Man 2.
Yo, Spider-Man
We
2
asked
mention.
them to borrow some of their precious
Yeah.
computer graphic
Rare in a
images
show
that they
in a
created
Sony
for the
conference.
movie. And we
Not
got
actually
the wonderful
rare.
actor Alfred Molina's performance from
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 in computer graphics. And here, we run it in real time on PlayStation 3. I'm amazed at the response, the reaction here. The quality of the image is absolutely
It does look
fantastic.
very real.
You can see as we move the camera
It
around,
does.
the light moves around also over the face. And this uses a very special technique which is pioneered by, once again, a guy called Paul Debevic, using light stage data. And we can move the light around over the face, and you can see that the shadows are cast realistically, and even the light reflects and transmits through the ears. This is something that the cell processor allows us to get that level
That's really
of
cool,
detail
actually.
into
Yeah, that
3D
is.
computer graphics. We can also change to different light stages to show in real time image-based lighting, where we're using the environment to light the character. Here in a forest glade, lighting the Alfred Molina character in real time. And you can see as we move the high dynamic range in and out, you get a phenomenal level of detail. We also were able to put this into the movie performance and use some of the sound from the movie to bring the whole thing together. And let's take a look at that.
Something in my head. Something talking. Gone.
Now, sadly, Alfred Molina couldn't be with us today, but we decided
Damn.
to light him as if he was. And we took a light probe from this
Alright.
room earlier on today. And here, this is what he would have looked like if he had been lit in real time by this lighting in this room. And you can see the light probe data lighting the character. And as we move into the eyes in particular, you can see the fantastic reflections that this gives us. Now, this is going to just give you some idea of the level of intensity and immersion.
It is
that
pretty
we're gonna
impressive
get from
technology
games on
to be
PlayStation
showing off.
3 and the amount of storytelling
Yeah.
ability that we will have.
But still,
working with
Sony,
amazing
show me
creators
some
and
games.
amazing actors.
Show
It's a
me
great
video
demonstration.
games.
Next up, we're going to show.
Watch them have like basically no
I
games
think
to
that's
show
worth
off.
a round of
I don't
applause.
think they're gonna have any games to show off. I'm gonna be honest.
This next demonstration was written by the brilliant engineers at the STI Development Center, the creators of the Cell chip. And this demo, which is a real-time demonstration of a landscape being created by 2 bits of data, one being 2-dimensional satellite imagery taken from outer space, and the other being 3-dimensional height maps collected from LiDAR, which is basically a laser ranging system flown over with an aircraft. And in real time on the cell, those 2 bits of data are combined together to create, in software only, this 3-dimensional landscape. This does not use the RSX at all. So this gives you an example of the tremendous performance that we get from Cell. Even the clouds are generated procedurally using Perlin noise effects. Really stunning example of where the immersion in games will go from here on in. This next demonstration also uses a landscape, but in a very different style, in a very different setting, but equally impressive creatively and technically. This was created by our colleagues at Sony Online Entertainment and shows a beautifully rendered fantasy
Shrek?
world. But what's the
Kind of
cool
looks
thing
like it.
about this
It looks
demo
like a lot
is the
like
fact
it could
that
be a
the
world from
can
Shrek,
grow
yeah.
in front of your eyes. And so here you see the grass growing, the flowers growing, organic environments being built real time in front of the player. You can imagine what this could mean to online games, but you could also imagine what this could mean to the ability for the player to influence his own environment and influence his own world while he's playing the game. Here the water beautifully rendered and all the characters and all the leaves and all the petals growing around you. Really
Honestly, if this
beautiful
was a real game,
demonstration
I'd
of
probably play it.
RSX and
I think it'd be
Cell
cool.
working together.
It would be pretty cool.
Now, from a complex and sophisticated landscape to a complex and sophisticated city, in this case, London.
Ooh, London.
London was the setting for Team Soho's epic crime thriller, The Getaway, and for the past 3 months, a team of 6 people has been working to show their vision of the future of that franchise on PlayStation 3, and they would like to share it with the world for the first time today. Now, this demonstration uses a lot of the real-world rendering techniques that we've seen in earlier demonstrations, and it's not just about graphics. We can see in this demo a tremendous amount of detail in the 3D objects, which are beautifully rendered with amazing lighting and amazing detail. But the real purpose of this demo is to show how a city in a future video game would come to life with
a PSP.
Simulation of,
of course, they get it through the ads.
Yo, McDonald's.
The way they make the city live and breathe, and
Surreal.
how they have their own lives, hundreds of individual people on the scene at any one time. And I think this demo is a great example of what a next-generation PlayStation 3 game is actually going to deliver in terms of immersion and richness and detail to the scene. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that all the cars have the same license plate number, but this is only a bug you discover when you fly halfway around the world and show it to the world. So I apologize for that, but you can see beautiful high dynamic range lighting here.
See, nowadays they'd probably make it so that each license plate was randomly generated.
For the future.
Probably, yeah.
Now, the next vision piece
Lords
that
of
we're gonna
Dogtown
shows how multiple forms of entertainment can share the same technical and creative DNA. And what we wanted to do here was to imagine and share with you an example of what happens when you take 2 billion-dollar franchises, one from the video game business and one from the movie industry, and collide them together on PlayStation 3. I think this demo needs no further introduction. Let's take a look.
Yo, Spider-Man. Spider-Man mention again. Man,
Yeah.
they love Spider-Man, Megan.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, it was in the peak of Spider-Man, and it was some of their biggest movies at the time. And Spider-Man 2 was very successful as a movie. Like, why are there, like, Forza cars in New York? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Be cool, though. Yo, children. Yo, Spider-Man, save them. Good job, Spider-Man.
Okay, that was actually kind of a good transition.
It was.
No playing in the streets.
Yes, Mr. Spider-Man.
See ya.
Alright, see ya, Toby. Wee.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That was pretty
Can you
cool.
imagine what Sam Raimi
Yeah.
and Kazunori Yamauchi would create if they got together to form
Although
a
I still
project?
say, you
That
know,
would be at pains to point
Sony
out
tries
that
not
it's
to
the
mention
next
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2 in the early
CEO of the
2000s.
next movie,
Impossible,
Mr.
like
Raimi.
challenge
So anyway,
impossible.
While we're in the
You
world
know?
of movies, let's
Yeah.
show an example of the cell's ability to decode high-definition streams in real time. Now, as many of you know, the current most powerful PCs
Yo, Adam
on the
Sandler.
planet struggle to decode just a single stream of HD. But here on PlayStation
That's funny.
3
I assume all these are from
we can
Columbia
decode
Pictures.
12
Probably.
simultaneously. and we can select any one of them to become the main full HD screen. And this is an example of how you could navigate multiple HD streams simultaneously coming off Blu-ray disc.
I don't know
Oh
if
look,
I'd like
there's
that.
Spider-Man in there as well.
Oh, there's Spider-Man. See, I was trying to keep an eye out for Spider-Man. I didn't notice it.
Yeah, they had a
Now,
pan
as
of Mary
Master was
Jane.
sharing with us earlier
Okay,
on,
that'll do it.
media navigation is at the heart of PlayStation 3's operating system DNA. And this next demonstration gives you another example of how media can be browsed on formats of the future. Here,
I won't want to browse media like that.
Media thumbnails.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who would want to browse
these
media
could be
that way.
Movie data, game data, could be your family photographs. It could actually be your friends on video chat anywhere in the world. It could be the IP camera anywhere in the world. So, that's it for the show and tell. And as I think you can see from the demos that we've just seen, PlayStation 3 delivers astounding performance and creative possibilities to the developers.
Where's the games, though?
Yeah, where are the games, though?
Around the world, game developers are hard at work making this potential become
Okay, well, he's mentioning game developers finally. Only like an hour and 10 minutes in.
come alive. I'd like you to welcome back Kaz Hirai. Thank you very much.
I wonder if that's why he was like, yo, wait around till the end. We got actual video games to maybe show you.
Maybe.
Thank you, Phil. As you heard from Ken Kutaragi, Masa Tatani, and Phil Harrison, PlayStation 3 is set to deliver the quantum leap the industry expects to help us lead the digital decade. No doubt about it, PlayStation 3 is a powerful machine under the hood. But what about the games?
Yes, please. What about the games, Kaz Hirai?
Please, finally.
For some time in order to deliver the type of gaming experience that consumers will expect from the next generation, and they have prepared some pretty exciting stuff to share with you today. So first, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this company back to our stage again this year. They have been a staunch supporter of the PlayStation format over the years, and we are truly inspired what they have produced on the PlayStation 3 so far. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome back Electronic Arts Chairman and CEO, Mr. Larry Probst.
Yo, EA. Now what are we going to see from EA?
Thank you. Thank you, Kaz. The history of the PlayStation has been marked by great games for the consumers and for the incredible opportunities that Sony Computer Entertainment has created for game developers. In 1994, EA signed on as a charter member of the PlayStation 1 team. Then in 1999, we made a huge bet. We passed on some other platform alternatives and dedicated our worldwide studios to supporting the PlayStation 2. When PlayStation 2 launched in 2000, EA was there with 6 titles, including Madden, NBA Live, and SSX. We like to believe those were some of the games that showed the early fans what the PlayStation 2 could really do. In total, EA has produced about 250 titles and sold more than 220 million units on the 2 PlayStation consoles combined.
Yeah.
But beyond the business, a lot of talented artists have found their calling in this medium created by Sony. And a lot of game lovers have enjoyed countless hours of entertainment. For all that business, all that creativity, all that entertainment, I think we owe the team at Sony a round of applause.
Woo!
Woo!
Today we're in transition, preparing for the PlayStation 3. At EA, we like to say transition is our friend. It's challenging, but it always results in dramatically better games and bigger markets. How much better will the games be? Rather than telling you, I brought someone who can actually show you. Let me introduce the general manager of EA's Chicago studio, Kudo Tsunoda. And Kudo is also the executive producer of Fight
nice.
Night.
Ooh, Fight Night! Okay, so they're gonna try to show off the power by showing like a boxing game. I think that makes sense.
All right, so the game we're going to show you is EA Sports Fight Night, which is EA's boxing franchise. And this demo, I truly believe, is a big first step forward towards delivering a new, more emotionally immersive game experience on the PS3. So I've been working on Fight Night since the beginning of the franchise, and I just can't tell you like how exciting it is as a developer to finally have the technology in our hands to build the Fight Night game that we've been looking to build all these years. So well, enough of me yapping, let's fire up the demo. And just to be clear though, this is all running live in real time on renderware on the PS3.
It's the king of the ring, combination slanger, skill and technique, all four mania.
Yeah, now see, once again, looks really good, right?
It does. Okay, I do like how you can see the spit
Yeah, right.
or sweat, whatever that's supposed to be.
Why not both?
All right.
Might be both.
So as you know, in boxing, it's these big, like, bone-crushing, devastating punches that really bring out the drama and the emotion of the sport. Obviously, what we're looking to do, you can see graphically now just how we're able to emphasize the brutality of the punches. But what we really want is the person at home, like playing the game, to kind of get that same gut-clenching, stomach-tightening feeling that you would have if you were actually in the ring seeing that punch land. And I think that's like the biggest goal for us on Fight Night PS3. It's all about like, hey, having the person playing the game really feel those same kind of emotions and reactions that a boxer in the ring would feel, and then using those emotions to like tell the story of our fight. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So the first thing in building an emotionally believable character is making the character look visually real. And that's like really hard in our game because pretty much everybody who plays our game knows what a human being looks like. And so if there's anything off in the character,
I mean, I would hope
the
so.
human eye is going to know. But you can see how far
Be a little weird if they didn't.
able to kind of deliver a realistic human form in game. But it's not enough just to make a nice picture. We really got to bring that picture to life. And we do that with all the different facial animations we have on our character, animating both the geometry on the boxer's face and the textures of their skin to produce the most realistic looking facial expressions that we've seen in video games. But again, it's not really about, hey, having just the best looking boxer. At least that's where it starts. But what we're trying to do is, again, bring the heart and soul of the boxer to the forefront over the course of the fight. And that's really hard in a boxing game because there's such a wide range of emotions that a boxer experiences. So, I mean, it goes anywhere from like the real intense kind of fury and anger that a boxer puts behind their most powerful punches to that kind of like, hey, when a boxer gets hit, that really, dazed and confused and hurt look that you see on the boxer's face. But once we're able to really get those emotions across to the user, they now become the new in-game indicators, to tell the player the status of what's going on in the fight. And I think, again, really, that's our big goal for Fight Night PS3, is we're getting, hey, the people like in the ring, like you're playing at home, you're able to see, hey, all the different kind of things going on in the other boxer's mind, and use that to your advantage to figure out what tactics and strategies that you're going to use to be successful. And with the PS3, we're now able to take the person out of the living room and put them right in the ring. And hey, that's why I love developing games for PlayStation 3. Larry?
All right, pretty good demonstration. Even if it wasn't like gameplay, it was still a game, at least.
On the PlayStation 3. And
yeah.
We're making another big bet.
I did like how that guy was like, okay, where do I put the controller? Okay, on the floor, I guess.
And the EA studios are 100%
committed
to help make that happen. Kutaragi-san, Kaz, Andrew, and Jack, thank you very much.
Yo, EA Sports. Yeah, I honestly forgot how prominent EA Sports is at like every E3.
Yeah.
Clap, clap, clap.
Thank you, Larry and Kudo, and all the folks at Electronics Arts for being here today. As always, your products continue to push conventional boundaries. Thank you very much. Now, we're pleased to have with us a company known across the globe as the greatest storyteller in the role-playing game category. Their leading franchise, Final Fantasy, has sold more than 60 million copies worldwide. To get a sense of how Square Enix views next-generation development, it is my pleasure to welcome the company's president, Mr. Yoichi Wada.
Okay, so is this where they show it?
Thank you very much for the introduction, Mr. Hirai.
Ivalice. Which Final Fantasy is an Ivalice?
I don't know. I guess it's 12 because I think the Royal City of Rabanastre is a 12 thing.
It might be. Like I've said, I don't know much about 12. 12 and 9 are like the two Final Fantasies I know probably the least about.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either. I mostly just know that because of the raids in 14. That and I think the Viera, the bunny girls there were also introduced in Final Fantasy 12.
True, seems so.
That's interesting. I don't know if Final Fantasy 12 ever got a port to PS3 or not.
I mean, I assume it did, since...
Like, it's possible it could be a late PS2 title, but...
Yeah, maybe it didn't.
With the threat of all-out war on the horizon,
no, I guess it didn't.
Empire invades and
yeah, but it came out on PS2 in 2006, so yeah, it was an end-of-generation title.
Yeah.
Well, I say that, but PS2 games were still made for a while.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. It's interesting that they're showing this off though, when they're prominently talking about like PS3 stuff.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if they would show at least some PS2 stuff just to kind of let people know that have one. Be like, hey, we're not completely abandoning the PS2 because they didn't give us a release date, so they probably weren't expecting the PS3 to come out at least for another year.
I mean, true.
So that you want to give someone something in the meantime. That, and with how big Final Fantasy X was, I imagine they probably thought 12 would be really big too. I don't know how much of a player base 11 had on the PS2, but I imagine it was decent.
The story of an age when magic was commonplace, and airships plied the skies, crowding out the heavens. Final Fantasy 12.
Alright, neat.
Yeah.
The images you just witnessed from Final Fantasy 12.
No, thank you. I didn't know
currently
that.
planned for North American release in the 2006 fiscal year. You will be pleased to note that Sony has announced that their next generation game console will be fully backward compatible with PlayStation
okay.
2 software.
That explains it as well.
Please look forward to all that lies ahead. Now, I'd like to switch the focus of my speech to Square Enix's involvement in PS3 software development. First, let me give you an example of a technical demonstration our dedicated team has put together.
Yeah, this is it. Man, this is how the remake actually starts, isn't it?
I believe so. I think this is... Yeah.
Well,
Like, they have this part clearly... thought out and, you know, exactly how they wanted it. Obviously, it just didn't come out until later.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know this is also in the original, but I'm pretty sure that's, like, even shot for shot, like, how they kind of show it in the remake. Damn, I wonder if that's, like, a reference to this then. Or if they just literally had this all figured out.
I think they just had it figured out. Because I think even when they were showing off Final Fantasy VII for the PS4, they also started it off the same way.
Because this right here, I want to say, started up a lot of debate, right? Because obviously this is way before Final Fantasy VII the remake would ever happen, right? Like,
Yeah.
way before. But I remember when people saw this, that you had so many people on GameFAQs just saying, "Oh, Final Fantasy VII remake! It's a Final Fantasy VII remake. They're doing it, right?" Because it was a it was a big deal even back then to try to get like a Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
And so this came out, and a lot of people were really excited because they're like, "Holy crap! It's happening! They're doing a Final Fantasy VII remake." But then you had people point out, like, well, no, they're just saying it's a technical demo. But then you have other people saying, and I think I was kind of on the side of these people, saying, like, well, yeah, but why would they show off Final Fantasy VII anything if they didn't plan some sort of remake, right?
True.
And to be fair, maybe they were planning a 7 remake for the PS3, and it just never materialized for some reason. Maybe they wanted to try stuff that was too ambitious, and that's why it had to wait until the late PS3, like early PS5 kind of cycle.
I mean, maybe
PS4, not PS3. Late PS4, early PS5.
Yeah, because kind of what I heard about Final Fantasy VII Remake, like before it was officially announced, like that they were working on it for quite a while. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this demo was also part of it. But like when we got that initial teaser on the PS4 that it was coming out, it was I want to say it was roughly about halfway through production, but then at some point they started over, which is why it didn't come out until 2020 or 2021.
Potentially.
From what I understand, anyway. So, like, it's possible that, like, if they didn't have to do that, it would have released in, like, 2017 or 2018.
Maybe. Like, I think taking the extra time to cook was good, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I just know for this in particular, just everybody just really wanted. Like, everybody, like, so many people expected this on the PS3, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I find kind of funny. And it's a nice demo, too. Like, it's a nice technical demo.
Oh, it is, for sure.
But this got so many people talking.
Oh, for sure. Because even at this point, Final Fantasy VII was still the most popular Final Fantasy, as far as I'm aware. That, and this is also on new hardware, so it looks really amazing for the time, too.
Yeah.
The images you just saw are from Final Fantasy VII. Thanks to the PS3's powerful surf processor, our acclaimed classic has never looked better. Please note that you have seen is merely a sample, and we currently have no plans on releasing a remake of Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
Square Enix is committed to fully backing Sony's new console. Plans to bring the Final Fantasy series to the PS3 are just beyond the horizon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, even though we said no plans, I do know people are still speculating that it was possible just because of literally that technical demo. I think something else pops up like later, maybe even next year, which gets people talking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wada, for joining us today
But,
on this very special occasion. You've heard great things and seen promising game content from both Electronic Arts and Square Enix.
We haven't really seen much in the way of promising game
major
content.
Players. But let's listen to what some other creators are saying about PlayStation 3.
Insomniac.
Insomniac making
Nice.
better games means creating a more immersive experience.
Man, look at that
an
CRT.
experience that convinces you that you
Yeah.
are actually talking to real characters. You're in real worlds, even though they may be.
I like how he
sci-fi
subtly
fantasy
has the
worlds.
DualShock
What we're
3
looking
there
forward
on his
to
desk.
PlayStation 3
Yeah.
is being able to take advantage of the cell's raw horsepower to create more sophisticated physics, to control hundreds of characters on screen, each of which is controlled by its own AI system. I think the cell signals the convergence of mainstream entertainment and games that everyone has been talking about for the last 10 years. The PlayStation 3 should give us the ability to do all of these things.
Koei.
I'm very excited at the possibilities that the next generation of PlayStation presents. Thanks to the powerful features of PS3, we can create the kinds of high-quality graphics that until now could only be seen in movies, and create them.
And I can have
in
even
real
more
time.
enemies to fight in
This
Dynasty
is a truly
Warriors.
incredible thing.
Yeah.
The first title will be a simultaneous game and movie release previously called Oni, which is now officially titled Neo. It's a story
Neo. Oh.
about famous Japanese director
Right there.
Akira Kurosawa.
Interesting.
wanted to film.
Neo mention.
The other
I wasn't
two
expecting Neo.
titles will be large titles, and we present all new kinds of entertainment. We will reveal more about these titles soon. We at Koei feel that the next generation of PlayStation will revolutionize video gaming, and we are planning to create games that will surprise and entertain gamers everywhere.
Factor
PlayStation
5.
3 will make it possible to simulate worlds in real time and simulate interactivity for the consumer as never before. The visuals on PlayStation 3, of course, will be a huge jump, and with going to HD TV alone.
Well, I'm just curious
will
of
be
what they're
quite
gonna
amazing what we'll
show
see.
for Factor
But
5, if
the
anything.
most exciting feature for us really is the cell technology in there. The CPU is so much more powerful than anything not only seen before, but also what we were expecting for this next generation of consoles. That really makes things possible on a scale which will really, really show people what next generation is all about.
Ooh, Konami. Of course, they bring out Kojima.
He actually looks so different.
He does, right? Young Kojima.
Yeah.
やっぱり、喜びとか腕の見せ所なんですけども、プレイステーション3に向けてですね、今どこ考えているのは、見えない世界を、見えないところに力を注ぐという、そういうことをまず考えているんですよ。送り手としてはそういうのを考えながら、作るべきだと思いますし、そういう作れる環境がようやく手に入るのかなというふうには思います。
Rockstar.
I think what we're most looking forward to creating in a PlayStation 3 game is a truly realized, truly immersive, living, breathing world. This is what we live for.
I.e. like GTA
every
4.
5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
this amazing company like Sony comes along and gives you this wonderful new piece of equipment that allows you to start unlocking your visions and unlocking the dreams that you've been having for however long. With Cell and with PlayStation 3, we feel very excited and very confident that we're going to be able to absolutely push the limits of what can be created and the experiences that we can immerse our audience in.
It's kind of interesting, actually, like seeing.
Be able to go to the next level.
It's kind of giving a bit of an insight into the developers and kind of what they prioritize as well, I guess, in a way. With Kojima, he's like, yo, creativity and detail. And with Rockstar, it's like a living, breathing world. And it's like, well, that makes sense for literally both of them, because that's what they both like to do, right?
Yeah.
And just to add to Mr. Kojima's comments, yes, Metal Gear Solid 4 will be coming to PlayStation 3.
Ooh. Very quick and slight MGS4 announcement.
When we were in the planning stages for this event, we asked many of our development partners...
So interesting that they just kind of drop it very casually like that. Yes, MGS4 is coming out on the PS3.
We expected to see a few
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, huh? It's still really early for that.
As it is early in the development process. Some of the best, most renowned gaming franchises, like Gran Turismo, Metal Gear Solid, Grand Theft Auto, were all born on PlayStation. And it's hard to imagine how these will evolve with the power of PlayStation 3. Our partners have prepared a glimpse into this future to share with you today. So let's take a look at what fans have to look forward to.
Studio Liverpool. F1 Formula. Yeah, see, racing games are the best way to show off a new technology.
Yeah, they're really good for that.
Racing games and flying games. Ooh, the wave!
Nice.
Oh! He'll be okay. Yo, Capcom. Okay, what's Capcom cooking? Devil May Cry? The innocent suffer. I really need to get into Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I would like to play them too. And Bandai. What are we getting from Bandai? Gundam? Yeah, Gundam. Nice.
Yo, Zaku! I do want to watch some Gundam with you sometime. Show you some old school Gundam.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Because I'm telling you, man, the 70s series is really goofy. Really goofy and really of its time.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yo, Namco Tekken? I don't know if this is Tekken or not. I just see, shirtless fighting dudes, and I think Tekken.
Yeah, it looks like Tekken.
A new reality awaits. Tekken. Cool. Thanks. It's like Red Dead Redemption?
I guess so.
Oh yeah, it has to be. Wow, Red Dead Redemption announcement, kind of, I guess. At least showing off hints of what it would be. I love Red Dead Redemption. It's another game I'm trying to get Megan to play. One of many. Because I love Red Dead Redemption. I love Red Dead Redemption. And yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I know I'm slamming Megan with too many games to play, but I can't help it. There are just so many good ones out there.
Yeah, I just don't have time to play a lot of games, unfortunately.
Okay, what's this one?
Haze, maybe?
I don't know, maybe. I have no clue. Is that Haze? I don't think I've ever played Haze.
Unless it's supposed to be Killzone, but I'm not too sure.
I mean, those could be Hellgast. Yeah, okay, it is Killzone. You're right.
Yeah.
I will say, Helghast design is peak. You know? It's like, they look really cool. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I remember this, actually. This is another example of them, like, making something look like it's in-game when actually it's pre-rendered and not in-game.
Ooh.
I remember, someone talked about this. I don't remember who, but I remember seeing a video about this. And they're like, yeah, you can see how they're trying to make it look like a video game. But really, everything in... Yeah, because everything in here is, like, pre-rendered and not actually, like... in-game, right? But look how much they try to make you think it's in-game. Even how the camera moves, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is totally in-game. But then you have things that, you know, aren't really feasible in the game, I guess. I'm trying to think of, like, an example. Maybe we'll see something. But yeah, look at the camera movements. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Dude, Killzone is such a weird franchise. I remember being, like, so big. So big. And then I think it got, like, a couple really bad games and they just kind of abandoned it.
Yeah, it was really big up until, like, the PS4 generation, because they had an early Killzone on PS4 and I think on the Vita that were both really not that good.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
And then Guerrilla got into doing Horizon.
Yeah, like, it really goes to show you, like, even, like, a franchise that's really well loved can easily just be forgotten and, like, completely abandoned after, like, 1 or 2 bad games.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it really makes you think, you know?
It does, yeah.
Do some more racing games. Music got cut, perfectly fair. YouTube probably didn't like this.
I would say they're probably just playing, like, well, copyrighted music, obviously. But
yeah.
It is Gran Turismo, so it's gonna play something like that. It usually does.
It'd be really funny if you say that with so much confidence and turns out to not be Gran Turismo. I think it is Gran Turismo. I think you're right. I just find it really funny if it's like, yo, here's... No.
I mean, it would be funny. I would find that funny, too, but... They like to do all their demos in a very similar way.
Yeah,
like when it comes to camera shots and stuff. So like, I'd be very surprised if this wasn't Gran Turismo.
Yeah, and plus I know they said the name of the company. I actually don't know what company makes Gran Turismo. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Oh yeah, it says right there, Gran Turismo. You can see their logos. Okay, you're right. Of course, that's usual.
Gosh.
No, the Michelin
don't
Man.
Like that.
That's true, you are often right.
I know, but you say it like that like it's a bad thing.
Vision Gran Turismo. Terrible name for a title. I assume they didn't call it that. Woo!
All right. All of this looks fantastic, don't you agree? All right. That's what I like to hear. So existing franchises are really the foundation. But to build an amazing platform, we need to reinvigorate the market with something new and something different.
Okay.
So our next video is a small sampling of new games and future franchises being born on PlayStation 3.
Okay, so what are we going to see from this? And how many of these will I need to pause for us to talk about? This one, I don't recognize. New franchise? I don't know of any new franchise that would look like this.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because to me it looks like either some kind of COD game or Medal of Honor or maybe something like that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's either. This is like in a modern day kind of thing.
Yeah, like I don't think it is either. I don't know a lot of FPS franchises. It doesn't look like it's Resistance or anything.
No, it's not Resistance. I don't know. I don't know what this one could be. Or maybe it is Resistance. Because that was an Alien.
I mean, maybe?
I've never played Resistance, so I don't actually know. But I did see an Alien dude, so maybe it's Resistance, maybe it's just like a really early concept of Resistance.
It might have been. I mean, I guess they did have Insomniac talking earlier too, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure someone will, yeah, Insomniac. So someone will probably confirm that's Resistance. It probably is.
That's interesting, because it looks a lot different than I remember the final game looking.
Yeah, it's probably just a very early, like, draft of it, maybe.
Yeah.
I love Techro drums.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yo! What game's this? I know they mentioned Neo from, like, Koei earlier, but I don't think this is Neo, is it?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure. Maybe it's an Onimusha game?
I don't think so. I mean, it could be, maybe, but... See, because I've never played Neo either. All I know it's like... Isn't Neo kind of Dark Souls-ish? I don't remember. As in, like, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's like... It's Dark Souls-ish with, like, a Japanese/samurai type influence.
Oh, it is Neo. Okay.
Oh, it is Neo. I didn't realize they revealed Neo so early, because it never got anything on PS3, right?
I don't know. Let me see.
I thought it was only released on PS4, but I could be mistaken.
Well, I know Koei, when they were showing the Koei stuff, the guy was like, we want to work on a game that's like in the movie, it's Neo. Yeah, you're right. It only came out on PS4. 2017, in fact. Is this the first Neo?
I would assume so. I guess it got into a bit of developer hell for a bit.
I guess it must have, because, yeah, hold on. Development, let me see. Pre-production. Oh, it says the original version. Oh, okay, this makes sense. Because, yeah, when they were showing the developers, they mentioned Oni, right? And how they're going to have, like, a movie and a game be very similar or something, or released simultaneously. And the game was going to be Neo or something. So I guess the original version of Neo was based on Oni. But it says, according to... Yeah. Okay, so Oni itself was an unfinished script by a film director, apparently. So I guess Oni never got released either. According to Yasuda, this initial version just crashed, and the team had to start all over again. The only elements to survive into the final version were the setting, the protagonist being a blonde-haired foreigner, and the basic scenario concept.
That's interesting.
That's really crazy. Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that Neo was announced in 2005 and didn't come out until 2017. That's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
Man, that's really neat, though. See, once again, it's why I like going through old E3s. You get to see some pretty cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
Including games that didn't get released for a long time.
There you are.
Okay.
Yo.
You're ready? Yes, let's go.
Totally a game that never came out.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Time is running out. Hurry.
It's such a... I don't know. There's something that I really appreciate, though, about, like, using your webcam for a game like this, right? Like, it'd be kind of neat to be able to sit down and go, like, yo, yeah, I'm ready. Right? And I don't know, I could just see, like, a lot of funny things, you know, being in, like, the cutscenes, like, right here, when it, like, flashes up with there. Like, I don't know, I like the idea of just, like, a gamer just, like, chilling there in a cutscene. Just looking really adorable. Like, I don't know, I find that really funny. And I could see, if that actually happened, I could see a lot of people having fun by kind of goofing on, like, the cutscenes and stuff with their webcam.
Hurry.
Yeah, because I don't know if there's, like, a lot of that stuff when it comes to, like, PS3 games. The one I can think of in particular is when I played Tearaway on the PS Vita. it would actually look at the camera during one scene in particular where it's like, oh, it's you in the sky, and they would put your face over the sun.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Target inside, all according to plan. So boring.
Okay, let's switch to our plan.
Roger.
I like how this doesn't even look like a game at all.
Keep an eye on us, okay?
Yeah, not really.
Identify. Identify. Working title. Yeah, it never happened. Let me see. Let me Google it just to like confirm that I'm correct. Identify video.
I mean,
game.
I'm pretty sure you're right, but yeah.
I canceled Games Wiki. Well, that tells me how I really need to know. What do you use the PlayStation Eye accessory and a tech demo of it showcased at official, which is misspelled on this. It's ethical, apparently. E3 2005.
Ethical.
It appears that you and your team can take on various missions around the world. Players are the leader / commander of a team of operatives, which I believe is also misspelled. And we've taken various missions worldwide. From the looks of the trailer, would be used to show players in-game as well as a headset. Why was it canceled? No idea. But let's say, the game had no word from Sony, and they're rather silent about this game. No news about the game's development and release date had been announced. It's not known when the game will be released. It won't be. Well, then again, I don't know. Like, Neo was announced, like what, 12 years before it actually came out. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see Identify on, like, the PS6. Right? Who
Maybe.
knows? But yeah, like, see, this is the thing, right? Fun idea. There's no way it would work. Right?
No.
Not with that technology. Maybe, like, I don't know. Now we have, like, chat, like, GPT style stuff where maybe you could, like, put that in a character and it could, like, respond to you in real time. Like, maybe, right?
Maybe.
I just find it hard to believe that you wouldn't get a lot of, like, bugs and stuff if you sit down with, like, AI and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go on a mission. Yo, yeah, do that. Right? Yeah, do this. I wonder what the gameplay would even be. Is it just you telling them what to do with your headset and webcam?
I was gonna say, I guess it's taking vocal commands to get the AI to do what you want, but like, yeah, anytime they've tried that, it really hasn't been that good.
Yeah. Hey, you Pikachu. Looking at you.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to point out how they're clearly going for some kind of market, having your two operatives be two very, like, boob-heavy women.
Keep an eye on us, okay?
Yeah, the anime girls.
Yeah. Oh, Sega.
Sega.
Sonic Team, yo.
Oh, is this this Phantom Saga?
Maybe this is when Sonic Team is branching out.
I was gonna say that I thought it was gonna be Sonic 06, but that might be at next E3.
Probably, and I'm guessing this also never came out, by the way.
I mean, probably not. It looks interesting.
It does. 5th Phantom Saga. Okay, I'm gonna Google this one as well. 5th. Well, I misspelled that, but that's okay. Phantom Saga was an unreleased first-person shooter being developed by Sonic Team for PlayStation 3.
Ooh.
So shit, Sony isn't really doing too well for this E3, is it? 3 of their games didn't come out for a long time. Well, 1 didn't come out for a long time, and 2 of them were canceled.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I don't think we've seen
We know
them
they're
like
probably
that bad.
losing.
We know they're probably losing. I'd say it's a guarantee they're losing this E3, dude. You don't give me an hour of technical specifications and then, like, you'll not lose, right?
I mean, that's true.
Like, I just find it really funny, though, that, like, 3 of their games that they're showing here never came out. Well, Neo came out, but, you know, didn't come out under what it was supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Phantom Saga looks like it could have been a cool game, too.
It does.
Yeah, let's see another game that probably didn't come out. Whoa, Ninja Theory production. Okay, no,
Heavenly Sword. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, okay, so Heavenly Sword did come out, and I never played it, but I heard it was really good.
I played some of it, but I never beat it. But it's a pretty cool hack and slash game. I do want to go back and actually play it.
Yeah, like, I think we do own it, right?
I do own it, yeah.
Okay, once again, notice how I said we do own it. Megan's like, immediately, very quickly as well, I do own it. I do own it, yeah.
Yeah.
One day, Megan, we gotta put the game shelves together. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
But from what I hear with Heavenly Sword, it's basically God of War-ish, right?
Yeah.
Which already is like, I'm down. I love God of War, and I love God of War's gameplay. So yeah, like, I'd probably enjoy it whenever I play it. Yeah, I'm not too sure what game this could possibly be.
I'm not sure either, because like the music sounds familiar, but I might just be thinking of something else.
Oh my god.
Oh. They got Star Destroyers, basically.
Basically. It's kind of like a weird futuristic World War II.
Oh, I wonder if that's a Starhawk.
Maybe? I don't think I played Starhawk.
I never played it either.
Oh, it's Warhawk.
Oh, it's Warhawk. Okay, that makes a lot of sense too, actually. I liked Warhawk. It was a pretty cool game. It was basically online only, and like it was kind of interesting because you could play up until like 32 player lobbies, but you could also play online split screen with a friend with other people.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like it was a really fun game. I don't think it functionally works anymore unless you can find a fan server. I assume one would exist somewhere.
One probably exists somewhere.
But yeah, it was a very interesting game, and I believe this is technically a remake of Warhawk from the PS1.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
You are correct, yes. Huh. Okay, see, I thought Warhawk looked different. So, weird. Okay. Well, it looks neat. I would have played it, probably. If I knew about it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Huh.
I'm also just gonna say this once again looks like pre-rendered gameplay.
It does, yeah. It's like, oh, we got all the glass breaking. Whoa.
Whoa.
That's actually pretty cool for the time.
It is. Killing Day?
Killing Day?
Okay, probably.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
Okay, let me see here. Is this on the canceled games wiki? Killing Day. Oh, I think I see. Was canceled midway through development.
Yeah.
And I guess according to IGN, Ubisoft says the game was to demonstrate new technological advancements or something. So, okay, so it didn't come out. Man, Sony's really doing bad this year, man. Like all the games that they're showing here, like so many of them either didn't come out for many years or were canceled.
Honestly, like I would say out of all the E3s you've seen, this is probably the worst showing.
I think this is the worst showing for sure. Like, I'm shocked, to be honest. Like, not even counting like just all like the hour of like technical mumbo jumbo to me. Just seeing these games, like some of them, yeah, like good, but a lot of them canceled or came out like a decade later. So I can't count it. Like I can't count Neo, right?
Yeah, I do wonder if them trying to put something out there because they heard Microsoft's announcing their console caused them to release a lot of trailers of games that were just way too early in production.
I think it's likely because yeah, this is just really like interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen this many canceled games.
Either way.
Like at an E3 presentation where it's like, yo, look at these games we're making. Half of them come out, maybe, right? If even that.
Is this MotorStorm?
It might be.
Yeah, I think it is. This was a pretty early title that came out when the PS3 came out. I don't know if it was directly a launch title, but I think it was in the launch window.
Well, that's one W, I guess. The game actually came out on its when it should have, so that's good. I like the little windshield wiper. It's doing its best.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do, I think.
Now, that's a very violent race, with people like probably dying, to be honest with you.
Probably, yeah.
Does Motorstorm like have a story or something? Like, why is it this like Mad Max?
I don't know if there's really a story to it per se. At least not that I remember. I still want to go back and play them sometime.
So a lot of new.
Because I did play some of the first one, but
Ladies and
didn't
gentlemen,
finish it.
Please welcome back Ken Kutaragi.
I want to point out, I like how he's like, a lot of new exciting titles are going to show you. Half of them don't even come out.
Yeah, but they don't have the hindsight to know that.
I know, but it's just so sad with the hindsight. You know?
It is, because they showed like 5 games there and only 2 of them ever came out, and one of them was in a completely different form.
I have the final and the biggest announcement. Everyone, this is PlayStation 3.
Whoa! There it is. I guess.
That's interesting. I wonder when they changed that. Like, I'm sure there's white or silver models that came out at some point, but the base model was black with a silver bottom.
Yeah, it is weird to see them show off like the white model for this.
Yeah.
Yo, look at all those ports.
That is a lot of ports. Also, I do like how they're also leveraging the fact they own Spider-Man by using the Spider-Man font on it too.
Yeah, right. That is kind of funny.
I always
actually.
found that funny.
Yeah, I never realized that was the Spider-Man font until now.
It is. I remember seeing that when we first got it, and I'm like, oh hey, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I didn't know Sony owned the Spider-Man movies.
I see.
Because I was a dumb kid. Oh, maybe they had a few models that were going to come out. That's interesting. I wonder if we just never got them in North America then.
That's possible.
Spring.
Woo.
So it got delayed of 6 months, roughly.
Interesting. I wonder why.
I'm not sure.
I find it kind of funny that like the PS3 itself is like a whole Sony tries not to mention Spider-Man challenge impossible, right?
Yeah. Oh look, it's a brick.
It is. Looks a bit smaller, actually, than the one that came out, I think. Is it? It looks smaller to me.
Maybe slightly smaller?
Well, all of us at Sony Computer Entertainment would like to thank you very much for joining us today on the eve of E3 2005. As you can see, we have a lot of new, exciting things in store for our collective future. But please, don't take my word for it. Please feel free to stop by our booth to experience the world of PlayStation for yourself. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. That was a pretty bad conference.
That was a really bad conference. It was really boring. Most of the games that were shown didn't even come out.
Yeah, that was really boring. That was not good. The Become Legend.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nicely Subdued, Sandstorm. Man, do I miss the E3? It's just not the same without anymore. I know Scythe Masu 12. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, a pretty bad E3. Like a pretty bad Sony conference, honestly. Like I'm actually really surprised at just how rough that was.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second because I did say I want to show off a thing with like the early PS3.
Okay.
Which I remember being talked about in GameFAQs a lot. PS3. I'll say PS3 early. Is that gonna get it for me? No. Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Okay, well, I guess whatever, I can just do it here. It's fine. Here. Oh, it's not gonna paste and go. Hold on. Let me not do that. Can I just see the image? Can you just like show me the image? I just want to like copy paste the image. Come on now. Let me see if it'll do it. Come on. Ah. Hey, whatever. It's on console database. I'll just show this, I guess. So on console database, this is what the early PS3 looked like.
Oh. I forgot about the boomerang controller.
The boomerang controller. This was something that I definitely saw float around on GameFAQs for a while, right? With people saying that this controller, because like the PS3 itself body is basically the same, right?
Yeah.
But the controller, everybody hated it. The boomerang controller, everybody hated the boomerang controller design. Because like it doesn't look comfy to hold.
Yeah.
It looks just too bad, right? They're trying to be innovative and slick with it, but it's not going to work. It wouldn't work as a controller at all.
Honestly, I do have to wonder when they would have changed that over, because like we saw in the conference, that interview with Ted Price from Insomniac, he had like an actual DualShock 3 on his desk. Like, I'm pretty sure that was not a PS2 controller.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. I think they probably did switch it pretty early. Like, it depends whenever this image was shown. But I do think that they must have changed it pretty early. Like, I think this is just like a very early concept, because I know everybody that I talked to at the time clowned on it like really hard, right?
Well, yeah, it's just because it's very awkwardly shaped. Like, even if they made the boomerang legs, for lack of a better phrase, a bit shorter, it still would just be like a really cramped and awkwardly shaped controller when it comes to the triggers.
Yeah, it would be very, very bad. Which is why I'm glad in our timeline they're just like, okay, we'll just do the PS2 controller again, but like make it wireless, right? That's all you have to do. Literally keep the same like design, right? Like we said during the Xbox One, literally both controllers are perfect, right? You know what I mean? Like, would you disagree? Like, because they are, and that's why they've been like the controllers for the consoles, like for every generation after. Right?
Yeah, no, I do agree. The DualShock and then the Xbox controllers, the 360 version, like they're both really good controllers, very comfortable controllers. I find it funny because I know we were talking about this before, how like Nintendo has kind of changed their controller essentially every generation. Like, I'm curious if they'll ever find that like patented design that they want to keep.
I don't know. I think the Pro controller is probably the closest they're gonna get, right? Because that's a decent one. It's decent.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I see a 360 controller design. I see a PlayStation 2 controller design. To me, absolute peak. Yeah, like I don't think they can really improve on it much better. You can add stuff to it, but if you change the shape, people riot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that's just such a like the boomerang controller is just such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea.
It
is.
Like,
because like even these buttons like back here, like the shoulder buttons, like I don't know. I'm just trying to think like how that would like work pressing into it. You know, like it's just so rough. So
yeah,
rough.
because like if you're grabbing it like you would a normal controller, I imagine if you were grabbing the trigger buttons, you'd probably be pressing more with like the edge of your finger rather than the base of your finger.
Probably.
So it'd be really awkward unless you had bigger hands. Like for me, I probably would struggle to reach everything on the controller properly.
Yeah. So yeah,
very bad design.
Very bad design. But I'm glad they listened and they changed it. Right?
Yeah.
And they weren't like stubborn. It's like, no, this controller, because that, like, to be fair, I don't think a controller would be the death of a console, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like that just might make things too awkward to play.
I think it would definitely affect games, especially in this generation, because everything, or a lot of games anyway, were multi-platform. And like, if people are really not a fan with how your controller works, and they have the option to do both, they're just gonna buy the game on the console where the controller is more comfortable.
Yeah.
And like I know not everyone would have all of them, but there'd be a decent amount that would either buy one and have both, or possibly even trade in and switch to the other one because of stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I think you're right. I think people would swap or just get the games on another console if they could.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were smart. They changed it. Good on you, Sony. Still a very poor showing at E3 2005. You tried, though.
Yeah.
This wasn't very good. So I think we all know who the worst is going to be. I guess this kind of thing, we never talk about who's the worst. Because we haven't really had one that's, like, definitively bad yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I think this is the first one we've had that's been definitively bad, and honestly, to an extent, kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, like, it's just, yeah, it's really not good. So sorry that you guys had to sit through that, if anybody made it to the end of this. But we had to sit through it, too, so we all suffered together. You can look at it like that.
Yeah, and I felt like we had decent conversations through it, so it's not like a complete waste, but just hopefully you guys had a decent time at least listening to our conversation while it was going on.
Yeah, like hopefully we were at least entertaining to some extent. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say about 2005, or shall we move on to Nintendo?
I think we're going to move on to Nintendo.
All right. In that case, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, but for now, it's time we cue the outro. So Frag out, and we shall catch you guys later.
Bye.